There we go. Welcome in, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Such a fabulous morning to be joining you. It's the final week of the year for us. This is the senioritis, about to graduate week, and it's a long one. It's a tough one, but we will get through it. We got you guys in the chat already. Everyone's here, ready to party on a Monday morning. Great to be here with you. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great, my man. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. He's wearing his ABC 10 News hoodie in here this morning. You should have comboed it with the sweatpants. That would have been...
Oh, the duo.
The elite combo.
I did not wear the sweatpants because I need pockets.
Just repping ABC 10 as hard as you can all over your body.
I did. At least halfway.
Halfway.
This morning.
Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I followed your advice this morning and listened to music.
You did?
On my way.
Totally
I told
forgot.
you I would
I
this
forgot.
week, so I did.
Oh, my God, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how did it go?
Well, it's so early in the morning, I wanted something fairly mellow, so I turned on some yacht rock tunes.
Okay, from Spotify?
It was actually the Yacht Rock channel
on Sirius.
Satellite Sirius Radio.
Okay.
And,
Did you feel a little bit of a jonesing for... Because I got in
badly. Oh, yeah.
You did?
Badly wanted to turn it back to Maggie and Perloff, but I didn't.
Imagine loving Maggie and Perloff so much that you go through nicotine withdrawals.
Just worried a little bit. Like, what if something big's happening right now and they're talking about it and I'm missing it? But I know I listened to...
Good for you. I forgot about the bit, as I usually do.
Little Super Tramp, Goodbye Stranger. I remember Ambrosia, You're the Only Woman.
Okay. Goodbye Stranger is probably my least favorite. That would have gotten me back to Maggie and Perloff.
That's definitely one of the differences between you and me. I like the falsetto, the high-voiced falsetto male singing. And there's a lot of that in Yacht Rock. Doobie Brothers, obviously. They hit that as well. Supertramp hits it all the time.
A little canned heat for you this morning coming at you.
Bee Gees.
I'm going down to the country.
It seems to be, I realize it's a common thread in songs that I like.
I like falsetto a lot, too. I really do, as long as it's good. Like Jeff Buckley sings a really beautiful falsetto, Benjamin. Oh, man. It's funny because I got in early, and when you walk into the studio, the board is on. And so I walked into a Maggie and Perloff discussion, and it couldn't have been worse, to be honest. So I turned it down immediately, and then I put music on my phone as I start preparing for today's show. But I'm so glad you remembered. Thank you for doing that. And so, yeah, it felt a little icky.
A little bit, yeah.
Which was the point.
Yeah, I know.
Did it get you in any sort of decent mood, though?
I mean, if I was here to talk about Yacht Rock for 4 hours, I think so.
You get you dialed in.
Feel like I'm not as much in the mood to talk about sports as I normally would be, but maybe that's a good thing for you.
It's interesting. No, I want to see how you do it. Yeah, Brandon says, I warm up with Jelly Roll. I'm more likely to warm up with an actual Jelly Roll than to listen to Jelly Roll. Like, I don't even know what a Jelly Roll is. I'm assuming it's some sort of dessert. But I'm more likely to have a plate full of jelly rolls to warm up than to listen to Jelly Roll.
Because I ate too many jelly rolls.
Exactly.
Think it's a cake that you then
roll
up
cake,
with then spread
jam,
jelly on it.
Roll it up,
and it's then you cut it and it's got little swirls in it.
like those jelly. Swiss rolls that I really love. The little Debbie's.
Jelly roll.
We had some questions in here. Ivan wants to know, do you guys use personal vacation days to take the 2 weeks off, or does the station just shut down for 2 weeks? It's a good question. It's a fair question. We have an interesting policy here at Odyssey across the country, and it's actually pretty brilliant on their part. Once we've thought about it, this policy was enacted a few years ago, and what they said was, "Hey, take as much time as you need," and you go, "Oh, well, this is great. I've got unlimited vacation.
Flexible
time
away.
off. Yeah, FTA. Flexible time away." And you hear it the day it gets announced, and you go, "This is fantastic. I got how much vacation do you have?" "As much as I want." This business, though, you really want to be on the air. You need to be on the air. I will tell you this. We're pretty firmly cemented in our position in San Diego morning radio, or so I thought. I'll explain that in a little bit. But you still, when you go away for 2 weeks, you're like, oh, I hope they don't try and sample somebody else. And then they find something they like. And you hope they come back, right? You do. You hope they come back. But it's also important, man. Was Paulie been doing the end of the year audit that we do every year to just kind of find out, like, I love to look back. Like, that's why I love Spotify Wrapped. How'd this year go for me? What was I listening to? Whatever. Paulie goes back and does an audit at the end of the year as far as downloads, how many people listened, how many shows did we work, how many guests did we have, how many live reads did we have. It's all a way for us to know this is what we did and how can we do better, or do we need to cut back on something, whatever. So he did that, and we were going over it this morning a little bit, and it's pretty jarring information, and it's good information to have, but when you're off for 2 weeks, you don't want anybody going anywhere else. You want them here. And like I said, we feel like you guys will come back on January 6th.
Well, and you can, some hosts who have time off will get like a guest host to come in, but we don't really have a ton of guest hosts.
Correct.
That we're going to, so it would just be network kind of radio, and we're not really serving the audience if we take a bunch of time off.
Yeah,
so.
And it's important, like, when you've done as much radio as we've done this year, it is important to shut the mother down and get the head right again and spend some time with your family over the holidays. And I'll be honest, after about a week with my family, I'm ready to come back about a week early. And I do that every year, but you stretch it out. My kids are going to be home the whole time. My whole day is going to be spent entertaining them for the next 2 weeks. So it's like it's not like I'm going to be lying around in a Epsom salt bath, just soaking with aromatherapy going.
Ultimately, we're sorry to disappoint anybody who does count on us in the morning, because I know there are people who still work the next couple of weeks, but there's a lot who also take time off. You've got, Christmas Eve and Christmas next week, New Year's Eve and New Year's the following week, which would lead us to believe that we're not going to have the full up, 6 a.m. audience that we normally would, which makes the last couple of weeks probably strategically the best time for us to take off without impacting our audience quite as much. But for those that we do impact, hey, it's good to be missed, and we will be back Monday, January 6th. But ultimately, it's like an accounting thing. In California, if you have actual time off, then it becomes a liability for the company.
Right.
Because if they say, hey, we're getting rid of you. Oh, you've got like 9 weeks off that we have to pay you out for. When you say you can have as much as you want, then it's like, but we don't have to pay you out for any of it if we ever, say goodbye to you. So that's really the strategy here.
Ultimately, even with the flexible time away, we missed one show.
Show.
You missed a few when you went on trip.
Yep.
I probably missed 4 or 5 over the course of the year. Paulie missed a few going to Vegas, but as a show together, we've only missed the one show.
Crazy. So Paulie came up with, by the end of the week, we will have done this year, I think the number was 242 shows. Mm-hmm. So you add it up again, Paulie, what we did this morning.
239 of them, really good.
Yeah. I'd say I'd give it about 230. We're really solid. The thing about us, too, is that we don't do the thing where every now and then when we are completely gassed, we will replay something. Like, we interviewed Mike Schilt at 6:30. We're going to play it again at 9:30. We were here for 4 hours. We didn't get preempted for games very much at all. Maybe 30 minutes twice a year. 242 times 4 is almost 1,000 hours of original content.
968. And then, I think there was a 1 hour, 9 a.m. pregame start early in the season on the road. 30 minutes here or there. But then you factor in all of the round
tables.
That's not even included in that.
That's not in there.
That's another hour times.
So when you think
how
about
many round tables do we have?
We had a bunch of round tables. When you think about it, you're like, bro, we legitimately came up with 1,000 hours of, fresh original content. It makes your brain explode a little bit. Now, again, you can get your fix of Ben Higgins on Channel 10. A lot of those nights, right? You're not taking 2 full weeks off of Channel 10, are you?
I am not taking any time off, unfortunately, at Channel 10.
None?
Well, I've got the day off for Christmas and the day off for New Year's, but I'll be working the other. Yeah, Steve is on vacation, so I have to be at work most of the time that we're gone, unfortunately.
The guy's surrounded by Steves that like to take vacation. Poor guy.
I got a couple days next week, and then I work all the week after that. So it ends up I'll be working 8 of the days that of the 10 that I normally would, which
For
is
the love of God.
I won't be taking any of my PTO.
But you won't be getting up early.
That is true.
That is true.
And that makes a difference.
And you won't have to come up with 4 hours of
That is
original
also
content.
true. It almost feels like a vacation.
And you don't have to deal with me
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, which is a win. And that ties into what I wanted to discuss next. And I debated bringing it up because it sometimes makes me look petty when we talk about things like this. But I'm interested to do it, and I do have a theory. So yesterday we were all sitting around in our respective areas. We started seeing some things pop up on social media. All of these local sports media members showing off their brand new, beautiful kits from SDFC, the new MLS team that will be debuting in February. I almost said March.
First home game in March. First road game in February. So you're not wrong.
Not wrong either way. So we start seeing all these guys doing their thing, and they're opening up these beautiful boxes. Hey, here's my new kit. Our buddy Darnay Tripp holds up his new jersey and to the camera, and he's doing a little video content. Our buddy Jake Garignani, he has. Oh, thank you, JR. Our engineer just came in and is delivering us a beautiful Christmas card. We missed the party. I'm sorry. The Seals
it was.
I heard it was outstanding.
I will tease it, and I will give you some details on the party, but it was outstanding. It really was.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. So I see Jake Garignani. He's holding up his new jersey. And Julian Delgadio, and seeing all these people that I know in sports media, and they've got all their new kits. And Paulie texted to you, "What is this?" I go, "I've got no idea." And I said, "Did I miss a press release?" Ben says, "No, I didn't get one either." I said, "Well, that's all of your television." That's all of your television cohorts. And they're all in this thing. What is this? Was there some delivery we missed? So, well, maybe we'll look around the studio. Let me look around the studio.
Yeah. Do we know? Have we checked Adam's desk?
Seen anything? Okay. So,
no. Some kits.
So I didn't see any kits or anything. So I said, well, I don't know. Ben said, well, let me do a little digging. So explain what happened.
So, I was curious myself. So I actually DM'd Darnay after he posted, and I go, did I miss something? Because it seems as though the rest of you were involved in something having to do with SDFC today. And he got back to me fairly quickly, and he said they had a, quote, media and influencers game. Guess they didn't have anyone from Channel 10 there, and no one from the radio station either, which they definitely should have, he said. But they didn't.
All right. So I said, Paulie said, well, that's weird. And I wrote, just when you think you're somebody in this town, the new soccer team comes in, they pull their pants down, and they give you a little slap to let you know, you guys aren't us, man. Sorry about it. We want nothing to do with you or your kind. My theory is this. This is what
I got an idea.
I'm blaming myself. I blame myself. I think that if Ben wasn't in cahoots with me, I think you would have been at that media. I don't know what I did. I don't know anyone there, but
if our station lineup maybe started with Ben and Darnay, I bet Ben's there yesterday.
Yeah. If the morning show here was Ben and Darnay Tripp, I think you're probably there yesterday. I feel like I'm the one. I feel like I've held you back. I feel like I've ruined your good name in this town because, I don't know, I like to tell D jokes and I'm trying to be funny and entertain our audience. I don't know. I think it rubs people the wrong way, maybe. I've been very supportive of SDFC.
That's what I thought, too.
That's what I thought.
Kind of excited that they're coming. And,
of course.
Open-minded about learning about soccer.
That's it. Yeah. I'm not the world's biggest soccer fan. I've made that clear.
I don't think any of these people who were there are either, though, as far as I know.
I do wonder. Do you ever feel that Woods has really tarnished my good name in this town? All the things I've made you do, the gimp masks, the sex dolls, all of the things.
I would say that you have changed my name. Maybe
I've
not
changed
tarnished it necessarily, but certainly broadened what people think.
Because I feel like I've brought the best out in you.
Well, yeah, exactly. In some ways, you absolutely have, and that's fine. I feel like in most ways it's been a good thing. In a couple of smaller ways, it's been perhaps detrimental, and yeah.
Because you didn't get a kit.
I didn't get a kit. I also didn't have to run around a soccer field for 90 minutes, which
God, I would have loved that. I doubt very much it was 90 minutes. It was probably more like 10.
Probably a shorter game.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you think, Ben? Do you like your new kit? You didn't look too good on that pass.
Even in best shape of my life, man, I don't think running around a soccer pitch for an extended period of time is in the cards.
Man, so I don't know. Of course, I beat myself up for it. That's what I do best. Is I blame myself. But I don't know. I feel bad. I feel now. You guys also know how I operate. I give the energy, which I get. If the energy that I get is bad, guess what you get back from me in return? We're now enemies. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I wish you
too late?
I wish you well.
I mean, if SDFC came in this morning with a marching band,
you made your bed.
A Woods kit,
you made your bed. It be saved? You made your bed. You made your bed, SDFC. And listen, that's my boy. My boy is a partial owner.
Just gonna say, a lot of people are bringing up Manny Machado. Is this voiding out our best friends for life
got a
contract?
kit this weekend.
I saw him get a kit. I saw the unboxing and everything.
Manny, if you're listening, just let us know where to pick these up.
I mean, again, I take things personal when they feel personal. Every TV guy was out there yesterday. Every single one of them, but one. You're telling me there's not a conspiracy here?
Ben's got dual platforms.
Dual! I would think that's the guy's ass I'd want to kiss. Oh, also, by the way, he doesn't have that petty bone. You can kick him in the nuts over and 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 over. And he'll be like, I'll still run your highlights. I'll still do it.
It's called integrity.
That's not integrity. This is integrity. Standing on business. You don't like us? Okay.
Maybe it's innocuous. Maybe they didn't know how to spell Odyssey. They thought it was at ODYSSEY.com.
You know who I am?
All of our emails just got lost.
You know who I am?
Lost in the internet.
I'm Michael Jordan. When he heard his general manager really liked the way Dan Marley played defense, he goes, oh, you like the way Marley plays defense? Okay. Watch what I do. That's how I am. So listen, man, it was odd to see. It was odd to see.
Wesley's ready to start a boycott already. They didn't even play the game yet.
Well, listen,
we send protesters to the first game with signs outside?
Man. Yeah, Paulie, don't you rock an SDFC hat?
I did.
Yeah, you did. I did. I used to. Well, I guess, Ben, let me apologize again to you for sullying your good name and your reputation. I don't know what I did, but apparently we did something.
Maybe they see the SEALs as their direct competition.
I wouldn't think so.
You're on the enemy.
I wouldn't think so. Oh, well. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. Maybe we won't.
The SEALs game is why you weren't able to make our big holiday party, though. And it was a heck of a lot of fun. We got a couple stories from Friday night for you when we come back. We will also set the menu for our Monday edition. What we've got in store for you today, final Monday of our year, final week of Ben and Woods of original content leading up to our Christmas and holiday extravaganza this Friday morning. Woo. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back after Kelly's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
I get this sense that when you're listening to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan, by the way. I get the sense that when I do segments like that, it makes you a little nervous, Benjamin. A little uneasy.
It definitely used to. I don't know after 7 years if it's doing me any good becoming uneasy anymore. I just gotta roll with it at some point, Woodsy.
Well, again, I'm sorry I've ruined your career.
No, you haven't.
I have. I feel like I have.
It's fine.
I
couldn't have gone anyway. I had to work last night. So.
I mean, you and Sean Lewis could probably be playing golf together right now if it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? It's the off season. He's doing some recruiting and stuff, but I bet he's got time to squeeze in 18 holes with his very loyal supporter in Ben Higgins, and now that's out the window, and that's my fault.
At some point, if you alienate everyone, and we can't talk about any teams at all, because first it's San Diego FC and San Diego State, then it's the Gulls. Then it's the
Gulls was you. You alienated the Gulls. I didn't even say anything.
Then it'll be the San Diego Clippers, and all of a sudden, one day soon, the Padres won't want to talk to us at all, and you won't want to talk about the Padres.
That's pretty close. We're
now
close.
We're in trouble, Then we've got very little to talk about the rest of the year.
I feel like we can make it work. I feel like let's piss off every sports team in town, and then we just get to do whatever we want.
Woods can play music.
Yeah, we'll just break it down.
Roll it in that way. Well, I know you're not going to tick off the Seals because you do work for them. And congratulations on a win on Friday night. I'm looking at you, and I can't tell whether it's the shadows from your lighting or if you still have some of your emo makeup on from Friday night.
I believe there's a tinge.
But just a little bit
of guy liner left. It was emo night, and so I decided to get in the spirit of things. Usually I'm too cool to do things like that, and I thought, you know what, man, emo night, I'm the PA announcer. I'm going to get in the spirit, and I did. I wore black pants and World is a Vampire shirt, and I had my wife, Hannah, before the game, break out some eyeliner and put it on me. And I sent you guys a picture, and the caption of the picture was, "I'm not as mad at this as I thought I would be."
Where does the eyeliner exactly go?
Under your eyes, right here, and then on top. So right around, like right or above the eyelashes, and then right under. Paulie's doing it. God, I'm craggly.
Really makes your eyes pop.
It makes your eyes pop. You can get that close up of me off the screen anytime you want to before I vomit into my hands, Paulie. But I put it on and I looked in the mirror. I go, I like it. I said, I like it. She's like, I know. It really, like, your eyes makes you look good. And I said, now I understand why you guys wear this. What I didn't realize is how long it takes. Somebody had DM me and said, dude, I've dressed, he'd like one of his things, I think he does it for like birthday parties. He dresses like Captain Jack Sparrow. And Captain Jack, I mean, pirate, he's got the eyeliner going. He goes, it like takes months to come off your eyes. And so that night I'm in the bathroom with oils and astringents, and I'm trying to get this off my eyes. I couldn't do it. I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, I've seen that look before. I've seen that look before. The sad eyes, the morning after, and you know what? I walked in. Here was the worst part. So I walk into the arena, and I thought that they would have had everyone on staff dressing like emo. So I walk into the cafeteria to eat my sandwich pregame, and I'm the only one dressed up. So I walk in, all the sales guys, all of the people that work there, I'm like, so I walk in and I look around, and everyone looks at me. I go, I'm the only one dressing up. Luckily, the DJ Mancat, he dressed up, and Melissa May, who's the in-game host, she dressed up as well. So the three of us were all done up. But the players kept walking by me, looking at me, and the guys from the Colorado Mammoth were walking by, double-taking, and I'm like, it's emo night! I'm dressed as emo.
The players didn't have to dress up.
Players did not dress up.
Okay.
I don't know that I want my players dressed up, but, it's all business. But it was fun, man. What a game. We smoked those fools, and it's always fun to do that.
Sitting eating a sandwich doesn't seem very emo to me.
I mean, I think emo people eat.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
They look kind of gaunt sometimes.
They are gaunt.
Like they don't eat.
And I don't know, man. I thought I could incorporate just a tiny bit into everyday life. I wonder if you guys would even notice. But I liked it. I thought I looked pretty decent in it, and feel like I missed out on that whole scene back then by not rocking that when I went out to the bars and stuff in my 20s. Now, in Chicago, I probably would have got my ass kicked, but I think I missed the window for it. But it was a lot of fun.
Well, you did miss on Friday night our company Odyssey holiday party because you were working. And it was, honestly, probably the best company party I've ever been to.
I heard the reviews were insane.
The venue, top of the market, was spectacular. The food and drinks were top notch. I mean, it was sensational. Company was good. I was nervous going in as always because I just am afraid that I don't know coworkers, which is true. Ended up sitting down. I kind of played it safe, and I sat down with Megan Perry and Jeff, her husband, who works here because, well,
not Jeff.
Greg. Sorry, Greg. I'm bad at this, as I said. And then someone sits down, and we have to introduce each other, and his name is Joe. He's in the afternoon. Joe
Rosati.
Joe, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, so he said, I've seen you around the building, but I've never come up to you.
You're
and
Carl
bothered
DeMeo.
you while you were here. So we introduced each other, and that was fun. Said hi and enjoyed it. But I think maybe the most drama of the night is that if you were there, you were given a raffle ticket and had a chance to win one of 5 sensational prizes.
Odyssey backpack.
75-inch television.
Whoa.
Had like Disney pack for 4.
Okay.
There was SeaWorld annual passes. And then I decided to go strategic. And there was a new Traeger smoker. And I go, ooh, like that. But I feel like most people are going to try to go for the TV, kind of the sexy prize. So I thought, let's be strategic about this. Our egg's a few years old. Yeah. It might be time to get a new one. I've heard good things about the Traeger, so go for that one. So I put my raffle ticket in there. And at the end of the night, I hadn't heard if they had done the drawing, and I walk out, and Michael, our boss, said, "Oh, did you draw?" He said, "Oh yeah, we did. You didn't win anything." It's like, darn. He said, "What did you go for?" And I said, "Oh, I went for the Traeger." And he said, "Oh, M. Peter, our sales guy, won the Traeger. There were only 2 tickets in there though." And I go, I had a 50-50 chance to win the Traeger.
Effing
50-50.
kidding
Mine
me.
was the other ticket. It was the other one in there.
No.
My strategy
way.
was correct. My luck did not hold. Though.
Probably
50-50 coin flip.
It's probably my fault for
I
some
went heads,
reason.
It was tails.
My God. And M. Peter won it.
M. Peter won the Traeger.
Yeah, the scourge of your existence, the bane of your existence.
He was very sweet, at the party as well. Said some nice things about me.
Did he try to sell it to you?
Did not try to sell it back to me.
Parking lot. Man, that sucks. What were the other prizes? 75-inch TV.
Yeah,
the
SeaWorld, the
Disney.
SeaWorld. There was one other, and I can't remember what it was. But they were all really good prizes, and everyone had a great time.
50
drinks were flowing.
Who gets in a raffle where there's only 2 tickets?
Wait. When you put your ticket in,
you couldn't see. It was the box was
blacked out,
black hidden.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what was in there. I just kind of thought. I bet everyone's going for the TV. Let's go for the Traeger.
Who won the TV? Do you remember?
I didn't see who
know?
won the other prizes. So.
That's crazy. It'd be funny if like Michael walked out with the TV. All the bosses win the big prize.
Adam's got Disney World.
Adam's going to Disney World.
Adam was there. He was sick.
Yeah, Adam's not feeling too good. I checked on our little bub yesterday, and he said he's about 90%. So hopefully we get to.
That's when you know it's a good holiday party though, where you can show up empty-handed and walk away with a 75-inch flat.
100%, man. Or a Traeger smoker. That's awesome. Well, I'm bummed I missed it, man, and I'll try to be there next year. Nothing I could do. I was working, and it was great. I mean, had we lost that game and I missed the party, I would have been really bummed, and I would have gone home in eyeliner. But the fact that we won, and I still went home in eyeliner, made it all worth it.
All right, we're a little overdue for a timeout. I can hold the menu and just let you know that when we come back, we'll get you updated. It was another quiet weekend for the Padres, although after our show on Friday, Yu Darvish was out and about and talking about Roki Sasaki.
Yeah.
And, obviously the number 1 target for the Padres this offseason. And I don't think I'm sharing any secrets. He's pretty much every team's remaining number 1 target if they could possibly land him. So how key is Yu Darvish to that pursuit? We'll get to that coming up next on San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Warner Brothers. The college football playoff is here. You don't want to miss a moment of the action with the new 12-team format. It's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever. College football playoff presented by Allstate begins with 4 first-round games December 20th and 21st on ESPN, ABC, TNT, and Max. That's this Friday. Friday night is Indiana Notre Dame, Woods.
Yes,
and
I
then
know.
Saturday is the other 3 games.
I'm not ready.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it, too. I'm also terrified. Notre Dame runs the ball really well. Indiana stops the run very well. They have a really, really good quarterback, but we have a really, really good pass defense. I mean, something's got to give here, and it's going to be a challenge.
Your coach Marcus Freeman got a long-term contract extension, terms undisclosed, but believed to be 4 years, and making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the country.
Love that man with all my heart and soul. I think he's a great fit for the program, and I could have seen him patrolling the sidelines at Soldier Field next year had they not locked him down, Ben. Love Coach Freeman. Love everything he's about. Love everything he stands for, and has done a really great job since he's gotten there, man. Really great job. Not one player has entered the portal yet at Notre Dame, which I think is, in this day and age, phenomenal. Not saying they're not going to lose people to the portal. They haven't gone yet, and I'm super proud of the year they've had.
We'll talk a little more college football, the Heisman Trophy Awards ceremony on Saturday coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. But want to get to the Padres and the weekend that was, or kind of wasn't again for your San Diego Padres. We'll talk about that right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Well, guys, unfortunately, no change in that situation on northbound side of the 805. Still going to find the 4 right lanes blocked before the 52. This is all due to an accident involving a semi. Happened a little after midnight. Unfortunately, problem here is that there's a fuel spill that everyone's having to clean up there. So that's what all that activity is about, northbound 805 before the 52. Best bet might be to consider taking northbound 5 toward the Golden Triangle instead, although keep in mind, a lot of folks thinking the same thing. Car fire westbound King Freeway just past College, just over the right shoulder. And in the North County, got this crash blocking the fast lane stop on 15 before Gopher Canyon. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less, plus get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Nice little end-of-year tradition for the Padres. They are doing their holiday caravan where they go out in the community and, give away turkeys at Thanksgiving. And, they go to an elementary school every year and give bicycles to the kids.
Yep.
And one of the things they also do is like a shop with the Padres event, which took place on Friday morning, just actually down the road at the Walmart here in Kearney Mesa. And one of the players being represented on Friday morning was Yu Darvish, who is remaining in town this offseason as he trains to get ready for next year, and spoke with Dennis Lin of The Athletic, who was there, and asked him some questions about Roki Sasaki and the Padres' very, very clearly stated interest in trying to sign the top Japanese pitcher on the market coming over in the free-for-all that, every team, again, can afford Roki Sasaki because he's only subject to the international bonus rules. But one of the prevailing, thoughts is that the Padres might have a bit of an edge because of Yu Darvish on the team and Roki Sasaki's relationship with Yu, teammates on the Japan World Baseball Classic team. Sasaki is said to think of Darvish as a mentor, as many Japanese pitchers do. He's revered in that country. I mean, like, revered. You hear the stories
like
about
Elvis,
how big Yu Darvish is in Japan, and that possibly could give the Padres a bit of an extra edge when it comes to trying to convince Roki Sasaki to sign. Now,
well, I think his agent had a couple of things to say as we played for you guys last week as well, and if you missed it, I think the thing that gave me the most hope was that Roki may be looking for more of a soft landing spot media-wise. The media in Japan has been obscenely brutal to him over the last couple of years, and that's not something he wants to deal with. Not saying he's not going to have to deal with the media wherever he goes, but LA is a different beast, as is New York, Philly, Boston, etc. We media here in San Diego are very soft, so cheerleaders, if you will. So maybe that gives us the edge. And
you
if
guys probably won't even get invited to the press conference.
No question.
Anyways,
There's no question about it. There's no question about it.
Unless you got to worry about.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Here was the quote from Darvish via Dennis Lin and the interpreter. He says, "I think it's a good thing if he were to come to San Diego. Just for myself personally, if it does happen, yeah, it's a great thing for me as well. But we'll see how things shake out. I don't think there's much that I can do. He knows what he wants. He'll make his decision, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple of meetings coming up for him, and that will give him an opportunity to see what organizations are like. I'm sure he's going to make his decision, and we'll all be respectful of that." Reading between the lines, and you know that he's not going to get a hard sell from you, Darvish. Yeah. But
correct.
That may be the wise route to go.
It certainly sounds like it.
Well,
it doesn't sound like Roki is. I'm not saying this out of school. Like, it doesn't sound like Roki Sasaki is Juan Soto, or even the type of person that. And again, I don't know him, just from what I've read and what I've heard. Like, I don't know that he needs the big, massive production from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's going to look at everything everything in the organization. Like, where would I slot in? How are they financially? How is the team? Like, are they on the upswing? Are they on the downswing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he needs the big Juan Soto production.
Culturally, that makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
In terms of what you would usually see from Japanese baseball players that come to the United States. It's not generally a big media show.
Big to-do.
They tend, from the experience of seeing other Japanese players, they tend to try to stay a little bit more, behind the spotlight.
Under the radar.
Under the radar, yeah. Perfect example. So maybe this is wisdom from you, Darvish, when he says, yeah, sure, I'd love to have him, but there's not that much that I'm going to do in terms of, trying to twist his arm to come to San Diego. In fact, it may be counterproductive if I do try to twist his arm to come to San Diego.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we will see. Again, that decision will not be official until after January 15th. So we're still a month away from the final decision from Roki Sasaki, although there will undoubtedly be reports of who he's meeting with, I would think, where he is. He's here in the United States this week, expected to meet with a couple of teams, then going to go back to Japan, and then I think they're going to him this week, going to go back to Japan, and then when he returns, he's going to go visit probably some number of finalists. Yeah. Whether it's 4 or 3 or 6 teams that he wants to actually see their ballparks and facilities and stuff, and meet with a couple more members of the organization. So you just want to, right now, make sure you make the first cut and get one of those finalist slots when he comes back after the holidays.
Yeah, you want to be in the mix for sure. And I again, the Padres have been obscenely quiet this offseason so far. And again, doesn't mean it's for a lack of effort. Don't really know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously there's a lot of smoke around a Dylan Cease trade. Tough to reconcile trading Dylan Cease without at least feeling like you're in the mix for Roki Sasaki. But hey, how great would it be to have both? If you knew you had an inside track or something to Roki Sasaki and you held on to Dylan Cease, Ben, that makes your team pretty strong. A rotation of Dylan Cease, Roki Sasaki, you Darvish, Michael King. I mean, now you're a player. You're a player with that rotation.
What was your what was the phrasing of? He said obscenely quiet.
Yeah.
This offseason. They've done essentially nothing. A couple of
Rule 5 guy,
a guy from Korea.
Oh, who's from Korea?
Perlaza, Jonathan Perlaza.
Perlaza.
A minor league outfielder, Oscar Gonzalez.
Yeah. Who they like a lot.
They do.
And I think there's some tools there, right? But Nunez, the guy from the Orioles in the Rule 5. That's quiet. That's obscenely quiet.
Well, it's very quiet, but I was looking through Major League Baseball. Well, yeah, there's been plenty of headlines from Juan Soto, and we'll talk about the Kyle Tucker trade. Woo! And teams that have been active. The Dodgers, obviously, with Blake Snell. The Giants get Willy Adames. More than half the teams, about 18 or 19, would probably also fit your definition as obscenely quiet.
No question.
This offseason. So the Padres actually find themselves in the majority of the teams that aren't doing anything rather than in the minority of the teams that are doing things.
But I do feel that some of the teams that have been obscenely quiet, probably we always knew they would be. Some of the teams that have been obscenely quiet absolutely should not be. Think about the Seattle Mariners. They should not be obscenely quiet.
It does feel like all of the National League contenders have at least done something.
The National League...
They're all taking steps forward.
The National League looks insane. Insane. I mean, you can...
Cubs.
There's been a flow of talent from
Mets
American toward National League. No doubt about that.
Crazy. And, listen, again, what do we always say about baseball? And what did Billy Beane say? You got your top teams, you got your middle teams, you got 50 feet of crap, then there's us. I don't want to be in the 50 feet of crap. And I don't think we will be.
Well, yeah,
based on who we already have.
There's about half the teams feel like they're in that.
Correct.
So it's not 50 feet. You're just in a big mix with a bunch of teams. And there's also a lot of players, that are still left on the market that will undoubtedly land somewhere.
Oh yeah. There's still some
before
really,
the offseason is over, right?
There's some hefty names out there.
The problem we're trying to solve.
That's right.
Is that there are rich teams and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's us.
Well, what's funny is that he's talking about, of course, the Oakland Athletics, who are now the Athletics. They'll be playing in Sacramento. They've actually had a pretty good offseason. They really have. They worked a trade over the weekend for Jordan Springs. They're doing some fairly exciting things. They're said to be in on Pete Alonso. They were said to have made offers to Max Fried and one more pitcher as well, maybe Corbin Burns. Like, they're out there working the horn right now.
It's smart though, is they're seeing a lot of these other American League teams not lose talent.
Yep.
All of a sudden, it looks like a wild card spot could be up for grabs in the American League, and they're going to go. This would be a good time to go for it.
100%.
You may not like the A's, but they're being strategic about it. Did have a big trade. We'll get to that and take on Woods coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
just keep on coming for our beloved Ben Higgins. It's 97.3 The Fan, Ben and Woods. Oh, my God. Bro, you just laid us out. Look at him. This is unbelievable. What is happening right now?
Oh, gosh.
Explain.
I'm really trying, just like with the SDFC thing, I'm trying not to take things personally.
It's getting more difficult.
A little harder. So, we went to the that Wishbone Brawl for Goat Hill a couple of weeks ago. Bill Murray and Kelly Slater, and had a really good time. And then there was an auction, and we donated, the three of us, a chance to play golf with us at Goat Hill.
Correct.
So you can each bid on a threesome. The auction's been open for a while. We told you about it on the air. It closed this weekend, and they announced the three winners who are going to play golf with us at some point in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
And they connected me via email with all of the winners so we could kind of start organizing. And I got the first email back from one of the winning bidders. He's very excited to play. He said he just wanted to rank, and he said he would like to play with. His first choice would be either Woods or Paul. He said, no offense to you, but he doesn't want to play with me. He wants to play with one of you two.
Ben, by the way, undoubtedly the best golfer of the three.
Not even close.
Well, that's why he said he didn't want to play with me. He said, I'm not that good of a golfer. I'd be intimidated by playing with you. So.
Also, he would call out every shot that he hits with every club, the wind speed, the spin, the slope of the green.
I do want to thank Ronald. He said, on my backstory, you guys converted me to the show. I listen all day long, including the joy of loose, oily stools commercials right before your show. On a side note, I have four daughters. Recently lost my wife of 19 years to use the distraction.
You got it, buddy.
We are looking forward to playing with you, Ronald, and the other winners. We just got to come up with a date.
Woods or myself will make sure you have a great time.
I'm going to make sure you have a great time. Great time.
So I could end up being the last choice of the group.
I'm so sorry,
Andy's
man.
in our chat right now, and he's very excited.
He got it?
Spots.
He got one of the spots? Oh, I love Andy. Andy, you should play, because Andy's a big Gulls fan, and ever since you absolutely crapped all over the Gulls, Andy, you should pick Ben and just wear him out the entire 18 holes.
Give him your megaphone. He can just heckle Ben
I'll bring you my
time.
megaphone. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, Andy, as soon as I hear back from the first bidder and they make their choice, and then Ronald can have who's ever left between Woods and Paul, then you can pick me third if you'd like.
I love it. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Yeah. It's not your fault.
Thanks.
Hey,
I know it's your fault.
It's my fault. That's what I was just going to tell you. This is all my fault. I am so sorry. I've ruined your whole career.
It's a middle school kickball all over again.
All over again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I was usually like second
It's
or
not
third.
your fault. I know.
No, you don't.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
I know. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's incredible.
All right. We need a contestant for Take on Woods coming up here last week of the year to qualify for the getaway to Vegas and the college basketball party in March. 833-288-0973. It's our musical trivia contest. You versus Woods coming up here in a couple of minutes. The phone lines are open now, though, so if you want to get in, wait for a couple of minutes. Be our caller now, 833-288-0973. As Paulie mentioned, it definitely feels like the National League is getting tougher, which is bad news for the San Diego Padres as more, top-tier players enter the NL and leave the AL. Juan Soto, just one of them. Kyle Tucker is the latest as the Cubs pulled off a trade, acquiring Tucker from the Houston Astros in exchange for Isaac Paredes, Hayden Wesneski, and a prospect, getting Kyle Tucker's last year before he becomes a free agent after the 2025 season. A clear indication that the Chicago Cubs, after kind of being on the sidelines a bit the last couple of years, a little bit, would like to try to change that narrative and hopefully claim one of the playoff spots this next year.
Yeah, and it's a great trade for them. I think Paredes is going to be a good prospect. They were making a lot of how well he's going to hit at what's the park in Houston? I still call it. Is it still Minute Maid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I call it.
That's
so
a good thing.
Lucky me.
You called it Enron Field, you'd be a little out of date.
They're at Minute Maid. He's a dead pull hitter. It's short. He can do some damage there. And Wisniewski is a good good pitching.
Wesneski, but yeah.
He's a good pitching prospect. But here's the thing. This is what I didn't like about it, and I quote tweeted. Now, again, consider the source, but it's Ben Verlander, and Ben Verlander is, I would say, a mouthpiece for baseball. He's got quite a big following. We all know how he got his big following, but the fact remains the same. He tweets this. Hey, Astros fans, remember this. These are the hard decisions an organization needs to make. The Angels lost Shohei for nothing. Jim Crane doesn't do the type of deals it'll take to re-sign Kyle. Trade him for all you can. And I quote tweeted that with, hey, bend over, fans. The owner doesn't like keeping homegrown stars in town. And the fact that you'd go on and instead not question, why doesn't Jim Crane want to keep a, 27-year-old star in Kyle Tucker that he's a part of the fabric of the Houston Astros. He's an elite type player. That's the question we should be asking is, why not? Why don't you want to keep Kyle Tucker there? If not Kyle Tucker, then who do you want to keep there?
Remember, it's also not just the Astros' decision. I mean, I'm sure the Yankees wanted to keep Juan Soto and not trade for him for 1 year.
But he's
and
not a free agent.
He's going to be after this 1 year.
Well, correct. Pay that man.
Well,
pay him.
But again,
extend him 2 years ago.
He doesn't have to say yes to you, just like Juan Soto didn't have to say yes to the New York Yankees.
I understand that you always run the risk of losing him in free agency. You run that risk, but
you also could sign him after this year as a free agent. It rarely happens.
It rarely happens.
But you could.
That's something that owners tell gullible fans. Hey, guess what? Maybe we'll sign him when the season ends. You're not going to. You would have extended him. But what I don't like, Ben, is telling, again, a mouthpiece for baseball saying, hey, this is actually a really smart move for the number 5 media market in the country to have an owner that's like, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay our stars. Why am I buying in? If I'm an Astros fan, why am I buying in? I know you've won some World Series for me, but why am I buying in when you let a Kyle Tucker walk?
It does seem like Kyle Tucker, when you compare his numbers to Juan Soto, they're not that far off. He's only a couple years older, kind of puts up similar type WAR numbers every year, power numbers. He might actually end up being a fairly big bargain if you could have gotten him, especially to sign away, a year before he hits free agency. So I certainly see what you're saying. There's no reason the Astros should not be able to afford a player like that.
We got to this point in baseball, and I don't know when it happened, where we, the fans, we do a lot of the owner's bidding. Do we not? Like, that's what Ben Verlander's doing right here. He's out there bidding for a billionaire. Is he not? Saying, guys, actually, I mean, you're just going to have to take it because he doesn't like doing the kind of deals that then get a new owner. Find somebody that does like keeping homegrown superstars in town. We had one here. And I'm so glad that we did. And I wish we had another one that is not going to let, Jackson Merrill walk. I put that in the Jackson Merrill category. If here we go in 3 or 4 years.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Hello, Jackson. I'd like you to be a Padre for life. We were blessed to have an owner like Peter Seidler that said, oh, no. And Ron Fowler back then, that we're going to make sure that Tatis is here. Have we made some bad deals? Sure, we absolutely have. Cost of doing business, I guess. But this whole, I'm going to go out and ride through the streets proclaiming that the billionaire is making a wise decision, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. You're not going to convince me. And we have gotten to the point of baseball where we're now looking years down the road going, what do you think we could get for a Jackson Merrill in 3 or 4 years? I don't want, that's not how baseball should be, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has such a problem with what's going on in college athletics right now. And we've been doing this for baseball for the longest time of like, hey, let him go. What prospects can we get back for Jackson Merrill in 4 years? No, that's not what it's supposed to be about.
A couple of Cubs-related news notes that impact the Padres as well. They also signed backup catcher Carson Kelly. 2 years, $11.5 million.
Good God.
There's like no catching left on the market. It's Elias Diaz, Yasmani Grandal,
expensive.
And even the backups are expensive, which is a concern for the Padres as they remain in need of a catcher at some point, and they have not signed one yet. Also, the fact that Tucker is now a Cub may open up the Cubs to want to trade Seiya Suzuki.
Yes.
Padres showed interest in Suzuki when he came over from Japan. Don't know if there's a match to be made there, but the Padres are in need of another starting outfielder with Jurickson Profar still a free agent. Have no idea if that's a road that the two teams would go down in discussing some sort of trade, or if that would even fit in the Padres' budgetary plans for 2025, but it's something to just keep in mind that Seiya Suzuki might be available on the trade market.
Saw a picture of Jurickson Profar enjoying a lunch with some friends over the weekend.
Wow.
That's the Jurickson Profar update.
Lunch with friends.
Lunch with friends, sitting in a big booth. Looked like they were having a nice lunch.
I like booths.
I like booths. Yeah, I like lunch.
Me too.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, let's get to today's game of Take on Woods. All right, Scott, I think, was the first to call in, so we're going to make Scott our contestant this morning on Take on Woods. It is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. All right, Woods has left the studio. You get to go first. If you can beat or tie him in our 5 questions, you will qualify for our grand prize drawing, 2-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas in March and 2 tickets to their Hoops Central. Westgate Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million in room renovations. And the March event, Hoops Central, is TVs, luxury seating, table service, and access to all the best gaming action during the big tournament every year. For tickets, head to WestgateResorts.com. All right, we'll give you the advantage of picking the category. Still sitting there is prog rock, 5 questions about some of the greatest progressive rock bands of all time. We have There It Was, Glory Hole, 5 songs that include the word glory in the title. And now we have Spit on That Thing, which is 5 questions on all 2-second song category, including the word thing in all the titles. So prog rock, There It Was, Glory Hole, or Spit on That Thing. What would you like to play, Scott?
You know what? Let's do Glory Hole.
There it was. Glory Hole.
There it was. Glory Hole.
Thank you, Jerry. We have 5 songs again. They all include the word glory in the title. You'll have 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play it for you. You need to give me the title of the song, including the word glory, and the artist to score the point. Scott, you ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. The category, There It Was, Glory Hole. Scott, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
It's Glory Days by the Boss.
Correct. After leaving the band Chicago and starting his solo career, Peter Cetera reached #1 on the charts with which song featured in the movie The Karate Kid Part 2?
Glory of Love.
Correct. Which 2011 hit by Lady Gaga was inspired by the final moments of her grandfather's life? Correct. Which song from the 1990 soundtrack to the movie Young Guns 2 was the debut solo single for rocker John Bon Jovi?
Blaze of Glory.
Correct. Which critically acclaimed hit by indie rock band Portishead is named after an old-fashioned container used by young women to store clothes for marriage?
What?
Last
Glory.
Last one's the toughest one.
Glory Box.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say, just throw out a guess.
That is what it is called. And you put the clues together, you got all 5 right, and you qualified for Las Vegas. Congratulations, Scott. Stay on the line.
Dominated.
That was a well-played game. All that remains is to see if it's an outright win as we bring Woods back in for the same 5 questions in the same 60 seconds. Scott's score is locked in, Woods. Okay. Woods doesn't get the category. 60 seconds on the clock. Time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Scott.
That's Glory Days by Bruce Springsteen.
Correct. After leaving the band Chicago and starting his solo
career,
Peter Cetera reached #1 on the charts with which song featured in the movie The Karate Kid Part 2?
I can't answer. I think I blew it.
Answer. Right? I'll let you try.
Glory of Love.
Correct. Which 2011 hit by Lady Gaga was inspired by the final moments of her grandfather's life?
Edge of Glory.
Correct. What song from the 1990 soundtrack to the movie Young Guns 2 was the debut
Blaze of Glory.
Correct. Which critically acclaimed hit by indie rock band Portishead is named after an old-fashioned container used by young women to store clothes for marriage.
Glory Hole.
Oh, no. That's the category name, but the...
Was it?
There it was. Glory Hole.
There it was.
There it was.
That's
Glory
called
hole.
the Glory Box, which means Scott, with a 5-4
No
score,
way, son of a...
has defeated Woods today and take on
He didn't
Woods.
know the other one, the last one either, and he goes, Glory Box.
He guessed it?
He did.
What a genius.
He did. It was a very well-played game by Scott, and he is in the drawing for Las Vegas. And not a
Well
not a
done.
badly played game by you without the category.
No, I
either.
didn't think so.
Didn't
I
even-
wouldn't have known it.
It was
I
tough to come up with 5 songs that included the word glory in the title.
Yeah.
But thank you to Jerry Jones for inspiring today's category.
He's very inspirational.
There it was. Glory hole.
One of the most elite radio drops of all time. Of all time.
All right, we will come back with a Don't Do This, including a major problem that college football needs to solve, I would say, before the start of next season.
And I've got some audio from the weekend that moved me to know, and you may know what it is. Happened on Saturday night. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful audio from Travis Hunter.
That's coming up after a check traffic with Ben Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Very exciting game of Take on Woods.
Very.
Congratulations again to Scott. He is in our chat. He won it. Woods, you will kick us off today for Don't Do This.
Yeah, on Friday we came in and told you guys what had happened on Thursday night in the game between the Niners and the Rams. And the 49ers linebacker DeAndre Campbell refused to go in. We need you to go in and play. He said, I don't want to play. And then walked off the field into the locker room, drawing the ire of the organization, the fans, his teammates. Well, now just an update to that story, Benny. He has been suspended for the last 3 games of the season, ending his regular season. And so they suspended him because if they cut him, they would have had to pay him. So they suspended him, and now they will not have to pay him. So he is his time in San Francisco is done. It's over.
I think you'd argue that if you are paid to play football and you're unwilling to actually play the football,
correct,
then you probably don't deserve to get paid.
I absolutely agree with you 100%.
All right, college football has a major problem, and it's solvable, you'd think, but with the prevalence of the transfer portal, you have more and more teams that lose a ton of players as soon as the season is over. The transfer portal opens just days after the end of the regular season, but now it's coming back to haunt at least one team, the Marshall Thundering Herd, which, they had an okay season, enough to qualify for a bowl game, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. However, after their coach was hired by another school and so many players followed him by entering the portal, 36 of them at last count, including 29 scholarship players.
36.
29 on scholarship,
Damn.
17 on their two deep setup from their last game that they said we don't have enough players left to actually play in this bowl game anymore, and they had to pull out of the game. So they've been replaced at the last minute. Louisiana Tech says, sure, we'll step in. It's not that far away. The Independence Bowl, I think, is down in Shreveport, Mississippi. They were 5-7. Louisiana, right? Louisiana. Shreveport,
the
Louisiana.
Louisiana Bowl in Mississippi would be one I would.
Well, it's the Independence Bowl.
The Independence Bowl.
Louisiana Tech is going to play in it. They went 5-7, so they weren't technically qualified. But hey, when you run short on teams because of the transfer portal, it seems like the simple solution is don't open the transfer portal until after the season is over. I mean, you've even had Penn State, which is playing in the college football playoff. Lost their backup quarterback to the portal because he wants to go, start working on, I want to start next year, go somewhere else. But what happens if Penn State quarterback gets hurt and they don't have their number one backup to now go in? It impacts the college football playoff as well. Just the rules seem off here.
Yeah, I mean, so they left to want to follow their head coach, right?
A lot of them did, yes.
It's crazy.
Not all of them, but some of them think they're going to follow their head coach.
And it's funny because everyone, look, coaches do this all the time, do they not? Coaches do this. Coaches are the ones, they're the original transfer portalers.
When you're offered the job.
Correct.
And you have one chance to take a big contract and move up to a new school.
Correct.
So you leave your old school and you take it.
Much like the same situation for the players, right? You have an opportunity to go to another school for more playing time, maybe for more money. You take it. We've let coaches get away with this for years and years. 10-year deals, walking out after year 4 all the time. Oh, no, have your son come here. I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not saying that students shouldn't be allowed to transfer. I'm just saying that wait to open the transfer portal until your season's actually over.
Oh, I agree with you. I think we are in agreement here. But what I'm saying is that a lot of those kids jumped into the portal because the coach jumped into the portal.
Correct.
And we're all going to yell at the kids. Right?
I'm not yelling at any of the kids.
That's how it's always been.
I'm yelling at college football for having a dumb system.
It is a dumb system.
It needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed now.
It does. It does. Well, the other thing over the weekend, this is definitely a doo-doo. This
DD mega doo-doo.
Got a lot of. I saw some pretty healthy debate about the Heisman Trophy, as usually there is. I think in any other season, Ashton Genty is walking away.
It was the closest vote in a long time.
Yeah,
since 2009.
I think he's walking away with the Heisman Trophy, no problem, running away with it, as it were. He had a phenomenal season, and but Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy. And again, I said it last week, I'm not going to be mad if either guy wins. I think both of them very deserving. What Travis Hunter did, and you saw a lot of former NFLers weighing in on this, saying, I don't know that people understand what it's like to play 462 more snaps than somebody else on the other side of the ball. It's the Shohei Ohtani thing where you look at it and go, yeah, this is crazy. Like, how can you be super mad that he won that Heisman Trophy? So however you feel about Travis Hunter or the Heisman Trophy, I don't think you can deny how moving this speech was after he won, talking to his father who could not be there.
My father, he's not here to be able to make it, but I know you're watching on TV. Dad, I love you. All the stuff you went through, man. I look at your oldest son. I did this for you, man. All the times that you didn't get to see me. When the times you came to see my games, from not seeing probably 2 games in high school to seeing me on TV every weekend and coming to see me, man. That means so much to me. I know you wanted to be here and you can't. But trust me, I got you. I'm bringing the trophy home. I love you.
Incredible audio. They had a reaction video I saw this morning of his dad watching that live. I mean, the dad obviously is convulsing sobbing with tears. And I again, anybody with a son, you put yourself in those shoes, you're like, my kid gets up there and drops that speech on me, man, I'm done. I'm a puddle.
I certainly understand the argument and respect Travis Hunter for how difficult that was, what he did this year. I do question whether he's going to make it on the next level, and that really shouldn't have anything to do with who wins the Heisman Trophy. At the same time,
make it like succeed at either or both.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that about every Heisman Trophy? I mean, there's been plenty of Heisman Trophy winners that have never succeeded at the next level.
I mean, Gino Toretta winning over Marshall Faulk is...
Remember Ron Dane?
One of the best examples. But I think it also would have been a shame. Say Barry Sanders, who won the Heisman Trophy over Oklahoma State when he set the rushing record.
Yeah.
Had there been like a two-way player that year and they said, well, let's not give it to Barry. Like, it feels like Barry deserved it and should have had it. Well, Ashton Genty, he gets 132 yards in the college football playoff, and he gets that almost every single game, if not quite a bit more. Will break Barry Sanders' all-time college rushing record, but he won't win the award that Barry Sanders did for doing that.
I mean, think about the guys that are in the National League for the next decade, right? That have these insanely monstrous seasons. And you're like, sorry, man, Shohei was 9-5 with a 3.14 ARA and he hit 38 bombs. How are you going to give it to somebody else? How? It's almost impossible to do. You're talking about value. At least in baseball, the most valuable player, and I think the Heisman Trophy is the best college football player. When Charles Woodson, two-way guy, when he comes out and says, if you don't think he's the Heisman Trophy winner, you're insane. I'm going to lean Charles Woodson. You know what I mean?
Charles also said, I'm the only defensive player ever to win it, though, because I didn't really play offense.
He did a little bit.
He did a little bit, but he said it doesn't count. He wants to be known as the only defensive player to win it. And Jake says, are you insane? Ben Hunter will be a very good DB in the NFL.
I think he will.
I agree. He will be a DB, but he's not going to be a two-way player.
They said,
I think, in the NFL.
So who was it? Somebody came out over the weekend, one of the football talking heads, and was like, look, I think the general consensus is he's going to be a cornerback that will, quote-unquote, get some looks on offense. I think you'd be foolish not to. But, again, you invest that in a...
Is he a better corner than he is a wide receiver?
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I was reading the average wide receiver makes a lot more money than the average cornerback. So
she's like, draft me as a wide receiver then. Look, I think he's one of those guys
he just wants to be on the field.
He loves football. That guy loves football, and you can say what you want, man. But what he's been able to accomplish has been outstanding. And was not, like I said, wouldn't have been upset if Ashton Genty won it as well. And I'm definitely not upset that he won it. But that speech got me, man. Speech got me good.
Shador posted like DMs that he sent Travis Hunter before they were teammates. Like, hey man, like I need you. Let's do something that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah.
Come play with me. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm thinking like let's shock the world. Like let's do it. And then you saw, his dad wasn't there, and his dad spoke a few months back. His dad was arrested back in September for 90 days. He's in jail, so he was not able to be there for the Heisman, and that was what Travis.
He's out now.
Is he out now?
Yeah, he's out now.
Okay. But when I saw Travis Hunter walk over right after the award was announced, and he walked over to his family, and Prime just grabbed him, Dion, and Travis Hunter just broke down in Dion's
tears.
arms.
It was
and you're
rad.
like, oh, man.
Talking to his mom, too, and I love what she had to say.
How do you not root for this kid?
She said, a lot of people told me having this baby so young was my biggest mistake, and now it's my greatest blessing. Whew. Got me good. Emotional night in New York, as the Heisman usually is. It's cool, man. They do a good job. They drag it out a little bit, but they do a good job. I'm like, all right, enough with the orchestra. I love when they talk to the players' families and all that. I thought it was really, really cool, and he's a good player, man. I'm excited to see what he does.
The Oscars would be like 40 minutes if you were in charge.
I think that's how. That's how it should be. I mean, we should
award.
We should hone our show. We should cut it from 4 to 3. Imagine how tight it would be.
And that's Don't and Do This for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the NFL.
Well,
your friend Dan Campbell.
We could have done Dan in Don't Do This, but I wanted to explore the space a little more.
Another
Danny,
very aggressive decision
that dude
yesterday, and what was being billed as a potential Super Bowl preview. That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, man. Hey, Ben.
Slotmashilts. Yeah, well, it's the last week of the year.
But it's only Monday.
We
still have
many weeks.
We have more shows. This makes me nervous. If you're melting down on Monday at 7:40,
what's
biggest show of the year is on Friday. I need you dialed in.
I'm already thinking about it. Just tired thinking about it at the end of the week.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Need you dialed in.
Sometimes it's good to save a little in reserve for later, Dan Campbell. Don't have to go for it every single time, Tin Cup.
Oh, he really is. But I think the logic behind it, and people are talking about it in the chat. I think it wasn't. We'll talk about it.
It's defensible. Yeah, it was the biggest game of the day yesterday, and we'll discuss a little football, Bills, Lions, right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a stalled vehicle partially in lanes northbound side of the 805 right before University, but that's an appetizer for what is up ahead, guys. Yeah, you still got the 3 or 4 right lanes still blocked right before the 52, all due to this fuel spill, which resulted from a big rig crash happened a little after midnight. So, yeah, some major headaches for you there. Might want to consider taking northbound 5 to make your way up toward the Golden Triangle. Also, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows collision clearing from the HOV lane southbound 15 right before Gopher Canyon. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Out to the East County to one of those other card rooms, walk through a slot machine filled is what I was trying to say. Sorry.
We don't do flubs anymore, and that's an all-timer. Slot machine.
Card rooms, walk through a slot machine filled smoky casino.
I blew it too. I flubbed the flub. So you know it's good. When I flub a flub, you know it's a really good one.
Slot machine.
Slot machine. It's going to be hard for me to ever say it correctly again. Slot machine. Slot machine.
So as we look ahead to the NFL and the playoffs, I feel like there's really 4 teams that are just head and shoulders above the rest of the league right now.
You're saying the cream
has
of
risen.
The crop.
Yeah. And I would include the 2 that played yesterday, the Lions and the Bills. In those 4, I'd say the Eagles and the Chiefs are the other 2.
Agreed.
Then there's a little drop, and I'd say the Vikings, the Packers, the Steelers, maybe the Ravens are in kind of that next level.
I was going to ask you. All right, go finish your levels, and
then probably another level down. You'll find like the Texans, the Commanders, the Bucks, the Chargers, the Broncos, kind of the rest of your playoff teams, but the Seahawks, but that's the Rams, but that's like the top tier is really just the 4 teams. Could the Vikings surprise or the Steelers surprise in the playoffs? Yeah, absolutely, but I think those 4 teams have separated themselves from the rest of the league.
Bills, Lions, Chiefs.
Bills, Lions, Chiefs, Eagles.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I like your levels bit, but I was going to ask you out of the second tier. You know, there's always a second tier team that you go, oh God, we've got to play them.
Yeah.
It's the Ravens. It's the Ravens.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. You see, like what you saw yesterday from Lamar and the Ravens. I think if you're a Ravens fan, it makes you pull your hair out because you know your team is capable of that literally every single week.
Yeah.
Elite.
It's like
elite performance.
Think of a chart where like their record and what that indicates,
Correct.
and like the level of fear that they strike in an opposing team.
100%.
It doesn't match up.
It does not
with the
match up
Ravens.
at all.
But in
What
the
are they,
playoffs,
9-5?
we've rarely seen
9-5.
Lamar and the Ravens at their best.
Correct.
So, they'd have to play with that consistency throughout a postseason. We just haven't seen it that much from them. So, I got my top 4. I'm not gonna say because the Bills beat the Lions yesterday that the Lions couldn't win in different circumstances against Buffalo, but the Bills were the better team. They went on the road. They were up double digits for a lot of that game.
So they tried their best though it was not if you're a defensive minded football viewer. Yesterday was a torture chamber for you watching that game. In fact, Benny, I watched some of the first half. Then they went to halftime. So then I put on the Chargers-Bucks game, which was actually a pretty good game at the time. The Chargers had taken the lead, and I'm watching Baker Mayfield just throw dimes to Mike Evans, who is just unbelievable. And then they start running away with it. I forgot to go back to the Bills game. So then I get back to the Bills game, and I'm like, oh, my God, they've made a game of this. And I got there just in time for when they were down 10 with, 9 minutes left in the game? 12 minutes left in the game. Dan Campbell decides to go for the onside kick. And, of course, they don't get it, and it goes all the way back for a touchdown. And you sit with your head in your hands and go, Danny.
It's down to like the 5.
Down to the 5.
And then they scored,
you go, Danny,
yeah.
Danny, what? Yeah, it leads to a touchdown. What are you doing? And then they started talking about the Lions' defense is ravaged. There's no trust in them right now at all because of the injuries and et cetera, et cetera. Look, let's do the thing, too, where we play both sides. If it works, he's a genius. A genius. A brilliant tactician that probably had to go for it because of his defense being so ravaged.
I don't know. I mean, if you win the lottery, were you a genius for playing the lottery,
No.
or are you just really lucky? Because I would say in the old days, yeah, it would be a brilliant call. You're going to have to probably get an onside kick. Do it when they least expect it with 12 minutes left. But we don't live in that world anymore. You have to announce to the other team that you're going to try an onside kick, which allows them to bring their hands team on.
Yep.
And the success rate is now so low on onside kicks that I've got to imagine that the chance of the guy returning it and fumbling it is almost the same as you actually recovering an onside kick, except if you return it and they fumble it, you get the ball way down the field. So you might as well kick it away. And even if your defense is battered and tattered,
give them a shot.
Who knows? The Bills aren't exactly known for mistake-free football.
Josh
all the time.
Allen's thrown an interception
or
here
two
or there in his life. So
they commit a personal foul penalty.
Oh.
You get them in a 2nd and 25 situation.
3% chance, by the way.
3%. I feel like a fumble is about a 3% chance. You might as well just kick it away at this point.
Danny boy.
The juice is not worth the squeeze on that onside kick.
He was, of course, asked about it after the game. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say.
The first onside kick, what kind of motivated you to do that early?
I thought we'd get the possession, I thought we would get that ball. And it's one of Bates' best kicks that I've seen him have. That was a good kicker at the end. I think took a good jump on us. And Hollis made a heck of a play on it. And, obviously now sitting here hindsight after been taking it down to the 3-yard line, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. Coach, I'm sorry.
There's positive thinking. You always want your coach to believe in your guys and your team, but there's also delusional thinking. To think that you can overcome 97% odds to recover. I did it because I thought we were going to get it. So you thought you were going to overcome 97% odds in this situation.
Yes, I did.
And you were going to recover the onside kick.
Yes, I did.
And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right.
You're surprised?
And we're going to stand up.
Anybody
and then it's
surprised
going to take
by
2 more
this?
shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right, that's going to be the mentality.
You could tell him it was 99%. I like my chances.
In Russian roulette, you get the 1 bullet in the chamber. When Dan Campbell plays, he puts 97 bullets in the chamber, and there's 3 empty chambers, and he goes, "I believe then I'm going to get the one that doesn't have to pull it. You've got to have some realism as a head coach as well. It can't be blind optimism all the time.
It's so funny too because everyone loves to make these bold proclamations of this is exactly why the Lions will never win a Super Bowl. This Dan Campbell is the one standing in the way of the Lions winning a Super Bowl, and I just don't know that it's that simple of an equation because again they're 12-2. Their run differential, look at me. Their point differential is insane, like plus 171. They're a good football team. And they're not a good football team in spite of Dan Campbell. So for every one of these that gets magnified, and look, is it an asinine play? Probably. How many times, Benny, has his willingness to be risky won them a football game? I would bet, if you want to play percentages and odds, I would bet it probably leans more towards favorable for them.
But let's go back to my tiers. When you are,
let's
say the Bucs or you're the Broncos, you might have to take a few risks. And if they all pay off, you may stun everybody and make it all the way to the conference championship or the Super Bowl. I don't think the Lions are in that position. They may actually have the best team. And when you have the best team, you tend to want to play a little more conservatively. Make the other team take the risks to have to beat you. You just rely on your actual superior talent to win the football game. Now, again, the Bills are really good too.
They are.
And it's fine, but it could end up costing the Lions home field advantage. I mean, the Vikings are right there with them now. The Eagles are right there with them. It could end up being a costly loss for the Lions. And not that they would have won, but they ended up losing by 6 and essentially gave Buffalo 7 free points there.
They did. And speaking of giving points away, what in the Sam hell is going on in the NFL with players dropping the ball before they get to the end zone? If I were a head coach in the NFL, I would come out today and say, here's a drill I didn't think we'd have to run ever because you're professional football players at the highest level. I'm going to hand you the ball. You're going to run into the end zone and cradle it until you cross the line. Twice yesterday it happened. At the highest level of the NFL, it is asinine. It makes no sense.
Including a veteran like Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor knows way better than that. And they lost, I think, 31-13. They also, did you see the trick play they ran that went for a pick 6? What in the world is happening?
Well, everything fell apart after Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball before the goal line. Would have put Indy up 13, I believe.
Yep.
And it fell apart after that. I do believe, though, it's almost the opposite of showboating. Like, professionals want to be so nonchalant about scoring a touchdown.
Yes.
Like, I want to show you how nonchalant I am that all I'm going to do is drop the ball, and I'm just going to do it so casually and quickly, you're not going to even barely notice that I'm not celebrating at all, except you did it too quickly. You did it again before you got to the end zone, which is amazing.
It's really hard to reconcile. Those are the plays that if I'm the commissioner, I'm doing a deep dive into some players going, what's going on? What's your DraftKings status? Like, what is happening right now? It is.
Now, the irony is if there was no replay, there's no official who would have ever called that a touchdown. But now that we have replay and they have to review it, you can see that he let it go an inch before the line.
This would be like hitting a home run and coming around and you don't touch home plate. You just jump over it. It's so elementary. My son plays flag football. It's elementary. Those kids know I got to get past that line with the ball in my hands for it to be worth 6 points. And it would be so frustrating to be a fan of a team that did that yesterday.
That was a huge missed opportunity. The Colts could have really gotten back in the playoff race. Now it seems almost certainly that the Broncos and even the Chargers, after getting their butts kicked, are going to make the playoffs because, well, they would have to pretty much, have one of these other teams win out to lose out. The 7 playoff teams in the AFC are now almost essentially set. Chargers have easy. I mean, they got the Broncos on Thursday night, but then they got the Patriots and the Raiders, 2 of the worst teams in football the last 2 weeks. There's no way they're going to lose all 3.
That Thursday night game, though, is going to be tough.
But it's probably the difference between the 6th seed or the 7th seed at this point. So even though it seems like it's a big game, probably in the big scheme of things, not going to be a huge game. Other big wins, the Eagles, 10 in a row now, and, seemingly...
There's a fight on the sidelines, though, between Sirianni and one of the other coaches.
That was bizarre.
They just can't. They cannot be happy in
They
their
put
own
together
victories.
some of their passing game stuff kind of got put on the side, so they just had to come up with something else, some drama. And then the Chiefs win finally by more than, touchdown, but lose Patrick Mahomes to an ankle injury in the fourth quarter. They're listening to him right now kind of week to week. He says, I won't even know until tomorrow how it feels, but that's obviously concerning if you're the Chiefs.
I watched some of that game, man, and they keep winning, but that dude does not look the same. He just does not. Do you guys all agree? He just does not look the same.
Not quite.
Not at all. Still finds a way to win, though. Checo was great. I mean,
Commanders barely survived.
Oh, my God.
Saints go for 2 with no time on the clock.
Oh, my God.
Packers just all over the Seahawks last night.
Yep.
All right, we'll come back. We got 2 hours left, including our Bennett Woods Wrapped. Look back to the month of August, some of our favorite moments of the year, all coming up on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Been a really fun first couple of hours of the program. I probably expect a decline from here on down. I mean, Ben's pretty much already in decline right now on the first day of the week of the last week of the year. But we'll see
flub.
We'll see. It was such a good one, though. It was such an elite flub. Like the old days. Oh, the old day flubs.
It's like, Fernando Tatis Jr. goes 3 for 4 and strikes out one of his at-bats.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to be a flub every once in a while.
It's true. It's absolutely...
And you don't have to drive 45 minutes or more out to the East County to one of those other card rooms, walk through a slot machine filled smoky casino. And
So
yes,
good.
I did just compare myself to Fernando
You did.
Tatis Jr., mostly in physique.
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, you did. I've seen some images of him in the DR. He looks good. Looks really good. I saw him getting a haircut the other day. We're starved for content, so I'm just trolling everyone's Instagram.
Yeah, he was in the gym this weekend on Instagram.
Yeah, I did the old gym selfie, which I am not a fan of because, well, I look like me.
By a body like that, would be nothing but Jim selfies.
I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. To my right, to my left is Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor.
Thank you.
Yeah, you posted a selfie recently. Was it a selfie? But it was your your 400th ride in a row, or was it a
reflection
selfie?
of me
It was a reflection
in the Peloton screen with the stats from my ride.
And what was it about that ride?
That was my...
Was it your best output?
Yeah, it was a personal record
PR.
and I'm on a 31-day streak right now
Of
on my
riding.
Peloton of riding.
Now, do you do
at
the
the
thing,
moment.
because I don't want to throw her under the bus because she's probably listening, but my wife's on like a 800-day Peloton streak. But sometimes she'll go, I didn't have time to ride, so I'll do the yoga class, Peloton.
I only do cycling classes to keep
Only
my
cycling,
streak. I have
okay.
no other classes, no stretching, no yoga, no meditation. It is only cycling counts for me.
Okay, so 31, is that your best?
31 is my longest streak ever.
So
yes.
today will be 32.
Correct.
Okay, and you'll get it in today?
I will.
Oh, nice.
I would assume so. I do have a doctor's appointment again after the show today.
I thought last week was doctor's.
No, well, last week was dentist and doctor. Today is dermatologist.
What are you having done?
They just like to look at me a lot.
Scan
because
you.
I'm very moly, and so you need to monitor those things very carefully.
I feel like you go to the derm a lot.
I do twice a year now.
Okay.
I don't want to get skin cancer.
No, I don't either. I don't want to get any kind.
They usually slice something off of me.
Every time.
Almost every single time. They'll slice 1 or 2 off, do a biopsy, and hopefully, knock on wood, comes back negative.
It doesn't feel good.
They numb it up. It's not
They
the
do,
worst.
but I had to get stitches in my back. Remember that? I had to get that
yeah.
nodule taken out of my back, and boy, that hurt like a son of
These are more
God.
right on the surface, so
Yeah.
it's more of just like like a prosciutto slice. Really thin layers.
Guess what? I'm never eating again, or probably any. So the next time you guys sit down to a nice prosciutto sandwich, think about it being made up of Ben's moles, sliced,
and yes,
prosciutto.
Thanks for that.
That ruined my day. It literally ruined my day. A nice thin Italian meat. That is your mole. Well, good luck with the dermatologist today.
Did you guys get any Christmas shopping done over the weekend?
I think I'm 99%.
You're like done early. You get done so early.
My wife does the majority of it for everyone, and it's very helpful. I do appreciate that very much. She comes to me and says, I need one more thing for your brother. And I have no idea. I have no idea.
I am definitely not done, but I did take care of both of you, I believe.
You
this
did?
weekend. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh,
think
boy.
I'm good to go for Friday.
Very
Little
excited.
early deadline for you two, since I have to have everything ready by the extravaganza.
Well, it was hard because Ben was pumping me for information on Saturday for Paulie.
And I was also pumping Paulie for information on you at the same time.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Well, it was hard because he had an idea. You had a real good you want to get into the arena, right? Let me get into the arena, and then we'll see, what he may or may not need. And I had realized that arena for Paulie was filled. It was a filled arena. And I was trying to dissuade him from purchasing items in that arena.
And you did.
And I
went
did.
a completely different direction.
Okay, good.
But now you don't know what I got him. Paulie does know what I got you.
I have no idea what you ended up
But you don't
getting
know what I
Paulie.
got Paulie, so
yeah.
it's a surprise to you at least.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We do the gift exchange on Friday. Yeah, somebody says, how about a charcuterie board of Ben's biopsies? Last year, my wife asked for a charcuterie board, and it has never left the cabinet. We have not had one single. And I got her a book on how to do charcuterie boards. Never seen it. Doesn't exist. As far as I know, it doesn't
hate to give
exist.
a gift that I know never gets touched again.
I know.
I feel like such a failure when that happens. That's why I put so much pressure on myself.
I do the same thing.
But then I'm gripped with indecisiveness because I don't want to pull the trigger on something that's bad. And then I just stand there like a
buffoon.
Just a buffoon in the aisle going, this could be the right thing, but he might not ever touch it again, and I don't want to do that.
It's hard, too, because I like to do it where I'm like, no, I can't give any tips. You need to be listening actively through the year to figure out what we may want. So ours to you is you will love it. Fan says, sell it to me. I'll use the F out of it. That's the other thing is
The charcuterie board.
Yeah, my wife's. I don't know that I can
board is just the board. You can put charcuterie on anything.
You can. You can put it on a plate, right? You can put it on a wax paper. It doesn't really matter. But it's the thought that she wanted to get into charcuterie boards, which I was looking forward to because I like them. And as you guys know, maybe you've heard on the show last week, my 4-year-old actually requests them in his lunch now, so I have to make a fresh one every morning. So I'm actually the charcuterie maker in my home. But no, I've never used it. Never used it once. I've never seen a charcuterie board. Maybe Friday for the big playoff game, she'll whip up her first charcuterie board for the family.
Exciting.
Very exciting. I'm excited for that game. Friday night's going to be a big night. Playoffs start. I'm going to be a wreck about it for the entire week, just so you know.
So, yeah, still have more shopping to do, like probably most people out there. I'm somewhat jealous of the people who, like, say they're done, with weeks to spare. But at the same time, I also feel like that's weird to be done so early.
I bought like one more gift in the last 4 or 5 days. Other than that, I've been done for a while.
I do the little add-ons, the little knickknacks here and there, but the big ones are done. And by the big ones, I mean all the stuff that my wife already bought everyone. So I'm done because she handles the lion's share of the problems and everything.
My kids are the toughest ones now at 21 and
something they need.
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
I still have to come up with something they want, something they need, something to read, and something to wear.
Aren't they vocal about what they want?
Not really. That's the trouble. You'd think they would be, but actually they're not.
Have you asked them? It's just
like,
a simple
like
way.
Specifically, well, you don't want to. I don't want it to be so transactional as well.
Gentlemen, what are we looking for Christmas this year? Right?
But then it just feels transactional.
What if here's what I did. A couple years ago, I started a note on my Notes app on my iPhone, and I shared it with my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my wife. It's like a Google Doc, essentially.
Well, I have a note
Anybody
about
can
gift
just add
ideas,
to it.
but
So
it's not a shared
They
note.
add their own ideas.
Sure.
And then I can just, anytime I need to, I can go in there and see like, oh, Caitlin added a couple of things. Can start to see what she wants.
We should do that for the show.
Again, that feels more like a grocery list.
You should put a whole list. You don't know what you're
going
to get off of the list.
So my little guy, Bo, yesterday they went and they met Santa. Finger quotes it himself every time he mentions him, and he had to do a list for Santa, and here's what he came up with. He wrote down, my wish list this Christmas, I would love to get the 9-hole. Now, if you don't know what the 9-hole is, it's this... it's like a square, and it's got 9 separate pockets, and you pitch into it. So it's like, hey, I'm going to work
like
down
a tic-tac-toe board, but for pitching.
Yeah, but it just catches the ball. It's a net, so it's to work on your accuracy and location. But yeah, there's no X's and O's, but you just, all right, let's work upper left, low and away.
Right,
yeah. So he wants one of those.
Like that.
He also asked for a turtle. That's not happening.
A real turtle.
Real turtle.
Not a stuffed turtle.
Literally over my dead body.
I had a turtle for about 3 days.
It'll be a turtle. He wants a walkie-talkie to call Cal, his buddy Cal down the street. He also wants a robot. He wants a Venus flytrap. That's so random. We don't have a lot of flies in our home, so I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he wants He wants all of those
How
things.
much do you think a Venus flytrap costs?
Are those real?
I think they're real.
Is it real? Does it eat flies?
Well, not that much.
What are we looking at?
Like $20-25.
All right, well, so he's coming in for the Christmas show. Maybe you get him a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I think they actually do eat flies. They don't like snap their jaws on them. I like, looking around like I think they're like sticky and the flies get caught and eventually they slowly kind of close up.
Do I have to bring it flies? Is that how it sustains itself?
It is a carnivorous plant, so I would imagine it does need to eat some sort of insects to continue surviving. Yes.
Sounds terrible. So I have to get. Well, maybe you get one for Bo for his birthday, or not his birthday, for Christmas, because he'll be in here. Oh yeah, you better bring presents for my kids too, Ben. Just so you know, they're going to be in here.
I wasn't planning on that.
I didn't. Paulie probably already has theirs locked down.
I've had it for about a month.
Paulie's had it locked.
Really?
Down. Yeah,
I didn't
Paulie's.
even think of
He's
that.
thoughtful. He's very thoughtful. They're little kids. They're coming to help.
Huh. You really did have presents for them?
He did. He asked me months ago.
Oh, wow. Do I need something for Hannah, too?
No, don't worry about Hannah. She's got everything she can need.
I can't even think now.
He just gave you a list. Do not bring a turtle, though. Do not get a turtle.
Venus flytrap,
Venus
maybe.
flytrap, yeah. Yeah. Somebody said they have
Go back and listen to the segment.
Somebody said they have them at Petco. So, cash. Yeah, they like cash, too. Look at him. He's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this ass. I got to buy his kids presents.
One of them the Venus flytrap, the other one the flies to feed it.
Yeah, give Taylor the flies to feed it. Yeah. What are you getting for Taylor? That's what everyone wants to know.
Huh.
Your bitter rival.
I have not given any thought to that at this point. I feel like it would be wrong. It would be wrong to get presents for your kids before I got them for my own.
Keegan said Ben thought he was almost done. Ooh, make Ben coupons and give them to Bo and Taylor. Actually, no coupons. No back rubs or foot rubs for my kids from you. Thank you. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, you're not done by a long stretch. So,
what if there are coupons that you then have to fulfill?
Pass. No coupons.
Ben volunteers Woods to do stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
one catch with Dad in the backyard.
They get that anyway. You know what I did, by the way? I forgot to tell you guys. Big news. We must be insane because I had told you guys. My wife really wants to go see the Eagles at the Sphere. Badly.
Not getting her that.
You don't have
okay,
to.
Good.
You know why? Because your boy already did.
Oh,
but let me
did?
tell you what I did. So my friend back in Texas, I saw an Instagram feed of them playing Hotel California at the Sphere. And I went, oh, my God. I don't know why I was surprised. It's the Sphere. It's incredible. So I DM'd her and I go, how was it? Worth it? I go, Hannah really wants to go see the Eagles. She goes, beyond. She goes, get tickets right now. So I go and look, find some pretty reasonable tickets. Well, guess when they're playing? They're playing that Friday night that I'm already going to Vegas. So we're going to do Friday night at the Sphere with 2 kids, by the way. The next night, we're doing Deftones at MGM with 2 kids, by the way. We're going to go back to back.
Wow.
Her favorite, my favorite. It's very ambitious. It's not going to work. I already know it. My expectations are very low. But that was part of her Christmas, too. I got her we're going to go see the Eagles.
That is very impressive.
Seated show at the Sphere.
With the kids, though.
With the kids. Kids are going to love it. I showed them videos of it yesterday. They went, day before. They went, oh, my God, incredible. They're going to be good for about an hour.
I don't think it would even matter who was playing.
No, it doesn't really matter. It's just
them.
Gonna
They're
really.
just gonna be looking
You're
around.
a much more ambitious parent than most.
I'm very ambitious.
I think most parents would just leave their kids with the in-laws over the weekend and go to Vegas and do the Eagles and Deftones. But you're actually bringing the kids
them to both.
with you.
Mm-hmm. Trying to make some memories. Oh, and we're also driving 6 hours each way in the van. So it's going to be the most ambitious trip of a lifetime. Don't expect me in a great mood Monday when I get back. But,
what month is this in?
March.
March.
Yeah. I'll be taking the Friday off, but I'll be back Monday. Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, it is time for Ben and Woods Wrapped, our second week, and we will kick it off this week by going back to August when we had a very special guest in studio. Actually, it was a day that you were not here, so you probably didn't even get to hear this
I didn't
at all.
hear it.
So it'll be new to you and new to anybody else that wasn't here that day. But we'll bring that for you next when we come back after a check of traffic with more Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Sounds like it's been a bad one on some of our freeways, especially the 805 this morning. Panic your patience, especially if you're heading north. And settle in for more Ben and Woods. We're here until 10 o'clock. We're on all day, live and local, here on 97.3 The Fan. Annie and Elston, 10 o'clock. Win and Chris at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But it is the final live week of the year, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, I think so.
This year. So get your fill in. Undoubtedly, the Padres will start making big moves at about, 6 p.m. on Friday.
Yeah. Or, when we're off.
Yeah, 10:01 maybe, and at least the other shows can talk about it. But
yeah, get the phone call from Adam on December 26th. Hey, can you can you guys come down and do a show? Because we signed. Who can we afford right now? That's the.
I don't know that there's anybody out there that
that is
we
worthy
can afford that's worthy of an emergency show.
Go, Benny. It's a fun exercise. Who's remaining? Who
Let's see
the remaining, and we'll say
what position would you like to know?
Just give me the top guys left. It doesn't really matter. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind who's worthy of coming down here and doing a show.
Pete Alonso, one of the top guys left.
I would do an hour show on Pete Alonso.
Let's see. Jurickson Profar, one of the top guys left.
He's already been here. I'm going to say no. We'll do a quick video.
All right. Jack Flaherty, one of the top starting pitchers.
Nope. Paulie didn't even wait for me to say no. Executive decision.
I assume that means Tanner Scott is also a no.
He's already been here.
He's already been here. What else we got here? Let's see.
Is that really all that's left in the top remaining free agents?
Gleyber Torres.
No.
Christian Walker.
No.
Paul Goldschmidt.
No.
All right, then most of the top free agents are pretty much gone.
All right, well, looks like we are free and clear. 6th. See you on January 6th. Exactly.
Justin Verlander.
No.
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, yes.
Yes. Teoscar, somebody
Not today.
Said. Yeah, he's still out there. Teoscar? Yeah. Yes, I would.
You would?
Oh, the petty. Are you kidding me? I'll do 2 hours. How about that? 2 hours for Teoscar.
Anthony Santander.
No. No.
Yeah, that's Jack Peterson.
Jack Peterson or
Jock
Peterson? I'll do one for Jack Peterson.
All right.
We could do one for Jock and just do an hour on Pusoy, which is that game that he brought into the Giants clubhouse and infiltrated the Giants clubhouse, and they wanted to get the guys out doing batting practice, but they were too busy playing Pusoy.
Tommy Pham.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. I have not heard a word about my man,
not either.
Tommy Pham.
Not either.
He still wants to play. He's still capable of playing. Not heard a word about him in free agency.
Adam Frazier.
Oh, my God.
G-Man Choi.
These names give me...
Rich Hill.
These names give me PTSD.
Ty France.
Oh, my.
Brandon Drury.
We've had all these guys.
Yeah, they're all back free agents again. You love reunions.
Keegan said playing what? Playing Pusoy. It's a game. It's like a game with tiles, and apparently it had caused a major rift in the Giants clubhouse because Jock Peterson brought it into the clubhouse, and everyone started foregoing extra fielding practice to sit and play Pusoy with their buddies all day.
They put the game of Pusoy on a pedestal, and they just forgot about all of their routine work.
You can't let Pusoy infiltrate the clubhouse. Okay, nope. Pusoy stays out. That's for after the game, maybe even before the game, though I wouldn't recommend it. Legs get a little weak. I would go after the game. It's time for Pusoy, not before, especially not during the game. No. So I think that's one of the issues if you wanted to bring Jock Peterson in, my first thing would say, can you keep the Pusoy out of the clubhouse? If so, then we can talk.
All right, then you maybe would rather have Nick Martini or Travis Jankowski.
Is he still playing?
He is, and he's a free agent.
Wouldn't mind having Freddie back here.
Freddie?
I like Freddie. Travis Jankowski.
Always liked him.
Always loved him, dude.
Luis Urias and Jace Peterson are also free agents that you can reacquire at this point. Boy. All right, it is time for Ben and Woods Wrapped.
Wrap.
We're going month by month with some of our favorite memorable moments. A lot of funny moments, but this one a little more tugging at the heartstrings. So when you were on vacation, one of your vacations this year.
All right, settle down.
We had Uncle Teddy. Ted Lightner came in studio, sat with us for a couple of hours, actually. He was fantastic, and anything that, Teddy says is always noteworthy. But he talked about his relationship with Peter Seidler that day. And, man, I just love having Teddy in studio, and he always speaks from the heart. So here's a little Ben and Woods Wrapped from August 1st.
But it was Peter and myself in his office for an hour before a Sunday game during that final season of 2020 for me. And he said, hey, you're an icon. You're a legend. Caminetti's gone, Tony Gwynn is gone, Jerry Coleman's gone, and I want you with the ball club. I want you around the ballpark, and I had tears in my eyes, trying not to bawl like a little boy, but no one ever said that to me. And I never heard that before. I never considered myself an icon, a Padre legend. That's the players, as far as I'm concerned. And for Peter Seidler to tell me that, and to treat me the way he did, so lovely, so nice. And it's hard, man, because I miss everything about it, win or lose. Even when I had losing seasons, I couldn't wait to get to the ballpark and see Jerry Coleman and laugh and have fun and travel with Jerry right across the aisle there in the first row and coach. It was just spectacular. So, Peter, thank you for everything, including the Hall of Fame.
I'm glad you brought up Peter, because I don't know how much I believe in karma and fate, but certainly remember 1984 after Ray Kroc passed away, and they were wearing the RAK patches, and now they've got the PS hearts that they're wearing, and they keep in the dugout. And there's undoubtedly, compared to last season, a magic about this year's team that was just missing last year.
I know. It wasn't there, and I don't know why.
And now it is. And, believe what you want, Ted. What do you believe?
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
I've been so lucky in my life. I worked for Ray Kroc, as you mentioned, and Joan Kroc. And Joan and I were extremely close, much closer than me and Ray. And she was like a sister to me. It was just unbelievable. And had John Moores, one of the great people of all time. And then I get to work for Peter Seidler. I don't know what I ever did in a former life to be so lucky and to work for people that they were going to make it a family here. And like culture and basketball teams, they all say that, but they're not. They're not families. Corporations, it's hard to be a family. We were family with John Moores. We are family with Peter Seidler, and now the Seidler family. And I just, I find it to be pinch. How did this happen to me? But Peter, you watch over these boys, and they'll get to that parade.
Man, it's, listening back on it now, I know the 24 scoreless certainly sticks in all of our head, but to get to that point, there was definitely some magic involved last season. I do wonder too. And I'd heard this, Tim Flannery told me, had the same conversation with Peter, and hey, we want you a part of this organization, Flan, and that spoke to him, at a deep, deep level. And I do wonder, though, the thing I was listening to Teddy, do you think Adam will pay me to just hang around the radio station when I'm done, just to be around?
Like emeritus?
Emeritus.
The fan ambassador?
Yeah, I'll pop on every now and then.
Morning show
emeritus. Yes. And just do... whatever they need. Just pay me, and I don't have to come in and do like 4
ambassador.
Yes.
I like that.
I'll do that in a heartbeat. Actually, kind of what I'm shooting for. Be great.
It's not how radio generally
No,
works,
it's definitely not.
but...
You see it sometimes, but that'd be a good gig to have.
And again, I know you, and we need to make it happen. Bring back Uncle Teddy when you're here one of these days. Soon, probably not this week, but in the new year, that's definitely on the list.
No question, no question. I would love to have Uncle Teddy in, and he said he wanted to be in when we were all here. I want him in, right before the season starts would be electric.
All right, we will continue Ben and Woods Wrap tomorrow. We're getting near the final months, the recent months, up to September.
Oh, wait till tomorrow.
We gotta get him tomorrow.
It's so good.
Tomorrow's is
it's legendary.
But so random and unexpected.
It's completely random. Had to do with a phone call that we got. We got on a tangent, and then a phone call came in, and it was just elite. One of my favorite moments in radio. I couldn't believe it.
It was pretty good. All right, we'll come back. Speaking of the Padres, went through some of those names. Are any of them realistic at this point? Padres going to add somebody in free agency. Where is their focus going to be directed other than Roki Sasaki? I'll come back with a little more Padres talk next year with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. This segment of Ben Woods is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is football. Hey, San Diego sports fans, head to your local Buffalo Wild Wings. Try their new maple chipotle sauce for rich maple sweetness and a mild smoky chipotle heat. Or for a bit of kick, check out the new Cajun sauce with a rich blend of spicy and tangy peppers. Stop by your San Diego B-Dubs or order for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings. Go. All right, Padres, we're still in wait-and-see mode this offseason, which I know is very hard, especially for Woodsy. You're ready for something to happen, something to go down, something big.
I don't think I'm the only one. I feel like there's a lot of people champing at the bit.
And you do feel like you were promised something by Mike Schilt last week.
2 weeks ago?
Was it early last week? The start of last week?
No, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Paulie knows. He's got the clip.
I feel like it was last Monday.
Trying to find when it was. Yeah, I think it was last week.
Well, okay. It feels like a month ago.
Yeah, I know.
It really does. Was that at the winter meetings?
I think it was the first day of the winter meetings. He was doing a lot of meetings.
Yeah, no, he's doing something. This cat, you know him, AJ. I mean, our man Preller, he sleeps very little. He plays a little hoops, and then he is looking to dominate every day on behalf of the Padres. So, does he have something up his sleeve? He's got stuff up both sleeves. Down his pants, in his shoes. I mean, he's got stuff going on everywhere. This cat is always getting after it. So I couldn't even begin to keep up with hardly any of it. I just tell him when he gets close to something to let me know, and he'll call to run something by me as far as, makeup of a player or just thoughts on a player. But he's a force of nature, man. So he's going to do everything he can within the parameter he's given to give us a competitive club.
So that's the part of the quote, that you think about and sticks with you. If you're a Padres fan, it's within the parameters that he's given, and we don't really know. We have an idea, and a lot's been written about it this offseason, about the parameters that A.J. Preller's been given. And one thing I know for sure, there are parameters, right? There are absolute parameters that have been given. And I think it's
got to be fair. Every team has parameters.
Absolutely. The Dodgers have parameters, right? And I went into Friday thinking after Devin Williams was traded to the Yankees, I said, well, Tanner Scott could be a Dodger by tonight, by Saturday, by Sunday. That has not happened yet. Tanner Scott's still out there. A lot of teams interested in a potential closer in Tanner Scott, who's nasty. He's going to command a lot of money. That's the thing. He's not going to cost you a prospect, but he will command a lot of coin because he is devastatingly brilliant out of the bullpen, as we saw here in his short time in San Diego. So they have parameters there. Andrew Friedman has parameters. They all do. But with AJ, the parameters, the holes on the team, and the parameters that keep him from filling those holes, I think that's a valid concern for Padres fans out there right now. And how are you going to get creative to do that? That remains to be seen. There's still plenty of time to do it. And as you mentioned, you read some of the names of people that are still out there. Not too many of them make me insane. We got to get this guy. He's a game changer. Yeah, I mean, there's pieces there for sure. I think the thing, honestly, like, it's weird how your priorities shift as a fan, because now I'm like, after seeing who was it that came off the market, Carson Kelly, going to the Cubs in a backup role for $11.5 million, catching for the Padres is at a premium. That's the hole I think we need to fill the most.
Catching's the spot that actually kind of worries me the most
100%
going into next season, because I'm not, as a fan, I'm not comfortable with just Luis Camposano and Brett Sullivan as my catching core. Yet with Kyle Higashioka, Travis d'Arnaud, Danny Jansen, Carson Kelly, Austin Hedges, Jacob Stallings, and Gary Sanchez all off the market now, it really only leaves Yasmani Grandal, Elias Diaz, James McCann, Yan Gomes. I mean, everyone below that is a negative WAR player. So it really leaves a very small group of guys that you could even go, and none of those particularly scream starting catcher either. So now you're like either sifting through backups that you're going to try to hope that they turn into Kyle Higashioka and have a breakout season, or you're still looking at the trade market. And that's, to me, what has always been AJ's strength, is he's been able to fill those holes, even without the ability to sign a free agent sometimes, by pulling off big trades.
Correct.
Better than anyone in baseball. So where are they, and why haven't we seen them yet? And I want to get to that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. Collision on northbound 805 just past Plaza Boulevard. Looks like several vehicles involved. Got the 2 left lanes blocked, and yep, you still got bigger problems up ahead before the 52. The 4 right lanes remain blocked, all due to a fuel spill caused by a big rig accident late last night. So please give yourself plenty of extra time. Consider taking northbound 5 if you need to make your way up toward the Golden Triangle. Also going to find a crash involving a motorcycle on westbound 8 before College. This one appears to be blocking the fast lane. Tow truck is rolling up to assist with that. And South 5 Coastline, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision just past Manchester. A couple cars in the center divide. Daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with that slow as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. You want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you. Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So when Mike Schultz says that A.J. Preller has, plans up his sleeves and down his pants and in his shoes, ideas, I don't read that as, I've got all these free agents that I'm looking to sign.
Yeah.
Anybody can sign a free agent.
Correct.
It's just you throw some money at them, you make the best offer, you sign them. That's not a plan. That's just money.
Right.
When I hear that, I hear trade possibilities, 2-way deal, 3-way deals, wheeling and dealing and, surprising, picking up a guy and then passing him along to another team to fill the actual hole that you wanted to fill. Like Drew Thorpe comes in and then turns into Dylan Cease. These are the moves that A.J. Preller has become known for. So where are they? Now, there's certainly the possibility that they're still to come. It's a long offseason, and many of A.J.'s biggest offseason moves didn't happen until later in the offseason. Late December, we remember, with Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish. Not until spring training for some of his bigger deals as well, including Dylan Cease right before the start of the season last year. But I do have my suspicions. And this is going to be elementary baseball 101 for most of the fans out there. But to pull off a big trade, it takes another team or sometimes multiple teams to be interested in the players that you are offering. And AJ has always done a great job of building up his farm system with promising, exciting, sexy talent that he is always willing to deal. And I get the sense that while he is high on some of his younger players and some of the pitchers who, he said percolating through the system, that there's really only two guys that
anybody wants.
Other teams are interested in.
Yep.
Their names are Ethan Salas and Leo Dallas DeVries.
Sure.
And AJ and the organization have made the decision that they don't want to trade those guys, that they believe in them highly, which is great. They believe in them so highly that they feel like they need to hold on to those guys and the value that they're going to provide for the next 6+ years once they get to the big leagues as being part of this organization. But that doesn't leave AJ with a lot of wiggle room in terms of the trades, because if you trade from your major league roster, well, you're just creating another hole while you're trying to fill one. You're playing an endless, juggling balls, and it's never stopping. The way to fill a major league hole is to trade minor leaguers for a team that's willing to do some rebuilding. But if you don't have minor leaguers that you're willing to trade, that they're interested in, it becomes very hard to find the correct trade partner.
Yeah, you look for the commodities that you have on your team, and you say Dylan Cease, he's got a year left. He's going to give somebody 180 quality innings. But then again, you could use 180 quality innings yourself if you want to tell everybody. It
creates another hole.
If you're telling everybody that you want to compete and get back to further than you went last year, which right now feels like a pipe dream. That being said, I said the same thing last year. I love to be proven wrong. I'm one of the few sports radio hosts that actually likes to be proven wrong. I welcome better than 93 wins. I welcome it. I'm happy. I would be happy to say, oh no, I'm firmly committed to put them at 81 and 81 again to start the season. But yeah, you look at what you have to deal, and then you try to deal that. But again, you create more holes when you do that. So he's up against it, man. He really is. I said it about him last year. He was up against it, having to trade Juan Soto. He did a good job with that trade, and look what it netted us. So I don't know, man. I keep waiting to be surprised by a big move. I just don't know.
And I hear your voices out there going, you don't know which minor leaguers the Washington Nationals value. Or, you don't, and I don't. But I do know that whenever you make a trade, you do have to sell it to your fan base as well. And if you're not picking up someone who's ranked in Baseball America's top 100 or the MLB.com minor league top 100 list, yeah, you may think that they belong on that list. You may believe in them, but it's a lot harder sell to say, hey, we're trading a major league player for a minor leaguer who's not even ranked on any of these lists.
Correct.
And the Padres only have 2 of them ranked on the list right now. And as far as we can discern at the moment, they are not interested in including them in any of those offers.
And it's interesting, man. I think what from a very base level, you can't go into spring training and look at, all right, here's what every team did to improve its club. And you can't look, Ben, at the Oakland Athletics and say, yeah, they had a better offseason than us. That can't happen, right? Like you saw that they traded for Jordan Springs over the weekend. They've added Severino to their pen, to their starting rotation. They allegedly made offers to Max Fried. They made offers to Pete Alonso is the report that I saw. So they're actively trying to improve their team. Now, again, not apples to orange. It's not apples to apples here. That team hasn't done jackass for a decade.
They won 69 games last year. The Padres won 93 games last year. Yeah, I mean, they've got more room to improve as well.
They have a massive amount of room to improve.
Yeah, you'd rather be the 93-win team that loses 4 more games than the 69-win team that wins 15 more games.
Right.
You're still better off to be that team. And, the Padres they're more trying to hold on to the gains that they've made in the last year than probably legitimately trying to significantly improve their team.
But you agree with me, though, that if they end up holding on, if they end up not getting Roki Sasaki, just a total kick to the gut in the offseason. A total. And you hate to put all your eggs in the Roki basket because no one really knows who's got the inside track except for Roki.
And no one knows if he's really going to be all that in the big leagues.
We think he will.
We think he will.
And the price is definitely right in case he's not.
It does feel like it's the difference between quote-unquote winning and losing the offseason.
Correct.
Now, again, once the season starts, doesn't really matter if you won or lost the offseason.
As
We've
know
seen the
very
Padres
well.
win plenty of offseasons, and it didn't matter when it came to the regular season.
Yeah.
So... But, yeah, if you're looking for a W between now and the start of spring training, Roki Sasaki is your best chance.
He's the best W that you could get.
Everything else is going to sound pretty unimpressive, no matter what the Padres do. They're going to add a pitcher at some point, but it's going to be one of these more bottom-tier names. It's going to be someone like a Ross Stripling or a Cal Quantrill or a Colin Ray. Lance Lynn, an aging guy, not someone in their prime. Now, if they come in for a decent price and have a solid season, that's a huge win.
Great win.
You won't be able to sell it as a win now. It'll be seen as a backup plan.
It'll be seen as a let's wait and see and hope and pray for the best.
But if they have a good season, you'll go, hey, this guy was absolutely key.
Yeah, we had a few of those
Michael
last
Wacha
year.
wasn't seen as a huge acquisition. Even Seth Lugo wasn't seen as a huge acquisition.
Correct.
So you won't know for sure until after next season whether they had a good or not offseason.
Yep.
But there's very little chance the Padres are going to have a flashy, spectacular, fireworks-style offseason at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be, listen, and people are talking about the A's. I know, look, like I said, it's not apples to apples. They were encouraged by Major League Baseball to spend money. And by encouraged, it was more of, Get off your ass.
I heard this from someone inside of baseball who said that every year a couple of teams get a tap on the shoulder and go, all right,
let's go.
You got to go. You got to spend some. This is starting to look really bad, and that happens around the bottom fringes of baseball. Probably happened to the Padres a few years ago. Like, all right, let's go. You've had your rebuilding phase. Now it's time to start spending.
Go get Eric Hosmer.
It does make me feel like there's also the other side of that is like, okay, you've been spending. Now it's time to stop. And
so we've been sandwiched in the middle of taps on the shoulder.
Baseball doesn't want to be seen tipping the scales, like putting their thumb on the scale and picking certain teams. But there's a reason there's a commissioner and there's an office, and they're going like, okay, we're looking out for the best interest of our game. And by the way, Oakland or AF, it's not the best interest of our game for you to be playing in a minor league stadium with no chance at winning for 3 years by not spending. So it's time to go. And they get a little kick in the butt and go, you want to be part of this club going forward? You got to start you got to start doing something.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And again, I think it may have – we kind of feel like we got tapped on the shoulder last year trying to do all the things that we did, or the year before, spending all the money. The owners were blatantly coming out and saying, you can't do this. And, it's a weird position to be in, certainly.
All right, we've got 1 hour to go. Paulie's going to get some headlines, things we've missed in our Rindle Report coming up in our next segment. And we will continue some more Padres talk as well with Ben and Woods. Don't go away. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. This is going to come as no shock to anyone, but I was at Costco over the weekend.
Yes.
One in Carlsbad on Palomar Airport Road. And when I was in there, I got the old, "Are you Ben Higgins?" And I said, yes, I am. He goes, "I am a huge Tier 1.
Oh, love it.
Is there any chance I could get a shout-out on Monday morning?" So here you go. Alex at the Costco, he's one of the employees. I think he said it was the LP, which I have no idea what that meant, but Alex, here is your shout out.
Shout out.
Thanks for
shout out SD.
Thanks for coming up and saying hello to me.
Shout out Costco
on Saturday at Costco.
Shout out Alex.
He is here.
LP. I'm trying to think what that is.
He said he listens more in the second half, so waited.
Second half of the program.
Yeah,
okay.
He doesn't get up at 6 a.m.
Go back and listen.
Sometimes he does go back, he says, but live he wanted to get the shout out. So
honestly,
here's the shout out.
It's weird for me because if you're a Ben and Woods fan that only listens to the second half of the program, you're really hearing us our worst. Our best.
Good point.
2 hours. I'll put our first 2 hours up against anybody on the planet. Really, 6 to 8. About 8:30 to 10 gets a little rough.
That would be now.
Well, and it's not because of the Reindl Report. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's fair.
I'm a Reindl Report fan.
I am also
unlike
a Reindl
yourself.
Report fan. No, I've become a big fan of the Reindl Report.
He's lying.
Because I also feel like you do that the show gets harder as it goes on.
It does.
It's like a marathon.
It is.
You hit mile 18, 19,
how would
and you really start feeling
how
the
would
burn.
you know? None of us can speak on how a marathon feels.
I'm
Not
imagining.
one of us. Not one of us.
I just got in the chat. LP, loss prevention.
Ooh.
That's why he didn't have a name tag or wasn't in uniform.
Making sure you weren't shoving.
Maybe Alex is not his real name.
Shoving prosciutto down your pants legs.
Should have stopped me from dropping that giant thing of mango nectar the other day. That's lost, too. I wasn't stealing it, but...
Wait, what happened?
Remember we talked about it when I dropped the mango nectar accidentally?
They tried to...
I never found the video.
My buddy Jordan tried his ass off to get the tape of you spilling the mango nectar at Costco, and he said he couldn't get it.
That wasn't the Carlsbad one.
Have you ever Have you ever shoplifted anything?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Definitely. Not even as a kid.
Really? I did as a kid.
Yeah.
I felt bad about it.
We know.
Yeah.
I got caught because I
did too. I'm not a big thief.
I got away with it the first time.
Yeah.
And went back like 20 minutes later. You're like,
you did it the same day? Oh my God, the world's dumbest criminal.
11 years back to the scene of the crime.
You know what I did? I went to Albertsons, which was like our Vaughn's, and I got a Reese's and took it in the bathroom and ate it. Got caught. I don't have the stomach to be a thief.
Have you ever eaten something in the supermarket and then just brought the wrapper and paid for it once you got to the register?
Drinks.
I do it with drinks.
You do?
Because every time I get there, I'm like, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna be here a while. I'm gonna grab a tea, and I drink the tea, and I give them the empty bottle.
Do you feel like someone is going to catch you and like call you out for it before you pay for it? You go, I was going to pay for this at the aisle.
I feel like the eye in the sky is like, all right, focus in on this moron in the hat. He's just opened the tea. Let's see if he pays for it. And I do that quite a bit. I'd say probably 1 out of 3 times I go to the store. I always get a tea.
I'd be too nervous to open anything while I was still there.
But I always know I'm going to pay for it. And I put it out front. I put it in the little holder as I'm pushing my cart around, so I know, hey, I'll be paying for this.
Because
what I don't want to do is
go in,
buy it,
then shop, then go shopping while I'm drinking it.
But then, they don't. Maybe they didn't see you buy it, and now you're still just walking around with a tea. I'll take my chances. I've always had this fantasy of getting stopped by loss prevention when I didn't
and
steal.
having the receipt.
Yes,
to show them.
and when I didn't steal anything.
Right here, pal.
Yeah. I don't have the stomach to like embezzle or commit fraud. I just don't have the stomach for it. We have too much of a weakling to do it.
I'm sure Michael is very happy to hear all this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Paulie, take it away.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get
All right.
All right. Good morning, my friends. We will start off in college football. We spoke earlier in Do This about Travis Hunter. We played a clip from his speech after he won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night. We played the emotional clip talking about his dad and how much he means to him, and we went on with that. But what we did not discuss was, boy, there was a lot of dialogue over the weekend online about Travis Hunter's, I believe, fiance, girlfriend,
Maron, this went nuts.
There was a clip going around, I think, after the ceremony where he was in, like the green room area, and Travis Hunter was, and family and friends were there, but he was also doing a meet and greet with a bunch of people.
Taking a bunch of pictures.
And everyone was trying to listen in on what his girlfriend, his fiance, was saying to him, what he was saying to her. And they were reading body language, and everyone's an expert now on lip reading, body language, etc. And the internet just absolutely torched this young woman. And, well, Travis Hunter, it didn't take long because this was on Saturday night. He then responded to all the critics of his fiance.
Did a little stream on Sunday.
This was on Twitch, I think. But, yeah, this is Travis Hunter, and here's what he had to say.
You ain't never had no girl. So why y'all talking about me? Find something else to talk about. You talk about my girl. Go talk about your girl. Go find a girl. Go find a life. Stop worrying about what I got going on. I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. Like, come on, man. Y'all go do something else with y'all life. Clickbait pages, y'all better stop. I'm telling y'all. Y'all, if something bad gonna happen to y'all, y'all keep doing that. Y'all better stop that. I ain't playing. Y'all better stop. All the clickbaiting pages. When we was sitting down and I was at my papa shop, we was talking about my family. What was they gonna do while I was in there signing stuff? I had all my family there. And that's why she did. That's why she said she's gonna stay there so they can get stuff. That's why she said she's gonna sit there so they can get stuff, have fun there. She wanted to go back they wanted to go back. Some of them want to go back to the hotel, some of them didn't. Y'all trying to make everything, y'all want everything for clicks. Like, stop that. That's crazy. Like, y'all hate on me and then y'all go and hate on my girl. Like, bro, I feel the same pain that she feel. We're inseparable, bro. We with each other. Like, she hurting, of course I'm gonna be hurting. If I'm hurting, of course she gonna be hurting.
Yeah,
like
a couple thoughts.
Pop-up shop is where he was at when all that video was taken.
Well, and the audio sounded like she said, it sounded, the way it was misconstrued was that she looked at it and was like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit here, right? So in that context, yeah, it doesn't come off well. But I don't think that was the context of the comment.
And we probably don't know exactly what it is. A flex, have the actual Heisman trophy. Back over
sitting
your
in the
shoulder
background.
during your live stream.
Very cool. Very cool.
And
where's our UT best of? I'd like to put that behind me.
Somewhere. But then the other part, unfortunately for Travis Hunter, it's only going to get worse.
Correct. It is not going to get better.
You're never going to avoid people who write stories going for clicks because, well, that's their job to go out there and do that, and they get paid for it. So that is going to be something you're going to have to live with as long as you remain in the public spotlight, and it's only going to get worse once you go to the NFL.
100%. And they're going to be watching everything she does. They're going to be watching her social media. They're going to be watching. I mean, you see what's transpired in all sports. It's toxic.
Now,
it's a toxic
the
arena.
good news for him, he seems to have a really good relationship, and if that's the most important thing. If you can ignore the outside noise and maintain what's important to you. Doesn't matter what other people are clicking and writing about. You go be confident in your relationship in your life and leave it at that. But you're not gonna change the world.
And I think eventually you'll just have to stop responding. Right? You just stop responding. Yeah, because it'll eat you alive.
Yeah. You ain't want to get out of his chest. It's fine. Did a fine job of that, but you can't be fighting an unwinnable battle for years and years.
My wife says a quote, I think it was Winston Churchill, something about if you stop to yell at every barking dog, you'll never get where you're going. And boy, what a good quote that is. Because
I like that.
Your boy right here used to stop to yell at every barking dog, and it doesn't lead to anything good.
All right, and then just one more story today, a little sportsy, but Not really. Bowl season is nearly upon us.
Yep.
Actually, it's already upon us. There were a couple of minor bowl games, I think, on Saturday. But we have the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and I saw that they unveiled their trophy.
It's fantastic.
For the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be the greatest trophy.
It's a pretty great one.
In college football.
Yep.
Ever. In any sport.
In any
sport.
Better than the Stanley Cup.
I think so. I mean, you can drink out of the Stanley Cup,
That's
but
true.
can you make breakfast in it?
Not only is it a big shiny trophy, it serves as a toaster as well, a functional toaster.
So good.
They have the Pop-Tarts mascots running around, giant Pop-Tarts, but this is the actual trophy. I'll put it up on our YouTube stream here if you haven't seen it. And literally, it's a functional toaster. You can throw in a couple of Pop-Tarts.
I love that it was wrapped in the silver Pop-Tart material. Foil. Yeah, it's so good.
It's amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
so it has to be
I don't know if
plugged
it's battery
in?
operated
Yeah,
or
that's what's
plug-in.
gonna
I
happen.
don't know any of the
A
details.
plug-in trophy is weird. I will say
I think
that.
it's
A
gotta be
plug-in
I don't
trophy.
see a cord,
I
so
don't
I'm
either.
guessing battery operated, but it pops out it's a
Like a
pop
real-
up.
yeah, it's a real toaster.
A pop-up toaster for
I think it's
Pop-Tarts.
Genius.
That is
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Why can't Pop-Tarts be healthy? Because I would be the healthy. I love them.
Love a good Pop-Tart.
I love them. I mean, I absolutely adore Pop-Tarts.
Pastry good, fruit filling good,
Delicious.
frosting good.
It's absolutely incredible.
There's just nothing that's good for you in them, unfortunately.
No.
Not even
Nothing.
any of.
There's no
none of the
nutritional value.
elements.
Nope.
You know, when you're a kid, you could sort of say, like, maybe the jelly inside was
yeah,
good.
not
but
even then.
At this point, there's nothing in there that has anything of benefit for you at all.
Why can't that be like, hey, you need to incorporate more Pop-Tarts into your diet ASAP? Do I have to? Yes, you do.
So last year in the Pop-Tart Bowl, they had a very similar trophy. Had 2 slots for toaster or for Pop-Tarts.
Wasn't functional.
Was not functional. They stepped it up this year.
So good.
With the help of GE Appliances, it says. And then, that game is going to be December 28th in Orlando. It's number 18 Iowa State taking on number 13 Miami.
It's great. It's a great one.
Good matchup, too.
Yep. Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
Got the quote for you. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks.
Winston Churchill.
Pinterest, yes, says it is Winston Churchill. I can't verify it 100%. Winston Churchill is attributed to a lot of quotes.
He is.
I don't believe he said all of them, but man, the quote carries a lot more meaning if you say Winston Churchill said it.
Yeah, and not Jeffrey Dahmer. Right?
It could be wisdom.
Richard Rodriguez. The
wisdom comes
the
from a
Night
lot
Stalker.
of different places, Woods, but when it comes from Winston Churchill, it just feels even wiser.
Zachary says that Ghetto Gastro makes healthy Pop-Tarts that are actually pretty good. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. I've never had the not a knockoff.
You literally don't buy it.
I don't buy it, but I don't believe him. Have you ever had there's less sodium in this. Try it. It's better? No. Have you ever had, this is low fat. Try this. It's better. It's not. It's never tastes the same.
I mean, I'm going to look this up. How would you make a Pop-Tart healthy?
By putting broccoli and kale into it.
No, but even if you have, then you've got a Hot Pocket, essentially. There's broccoli and cheese Hot Pockets. Those aren't healthy either.
No.
So what would you really what would you really have to do to make a Pop-Tart healthy? You'd have to have no pastry, crust.
No, nothing sweet.
And then no sugar or nothing sweet. So essentially, it's now just a salad.
Yeah, now you're eating a salad.
I mean, they still call them toaster pastries. They have chocolate raspberry, strawberry, maple, apple, cinnamon, peanut butter, and jelly toaster pastries.
No. Did you say chocolate
and how much healthier
raspberry?
is it?
Chocolate raspberry. $20. $20 for a package of chocolate raspberry.
That's a combo that we didn't
It's plant-based,
mention.
whole grains, real fruits, non-GMO, 2 grams of protein.
2 grams of protein.
It's healthier than a Pop-Tart. The question is, though, is it actually healthy?
I bet it tastes like feet.
Right. If we're talking 800 calories in a Pop-Tart, this one's 700 calories.
Or even 400. I'll eat the Pop-Tart. I'll just wear it. You know I'll wear it. I've worn it plenty. Pass.
I'm skeptical.
I'm
just
massively skeptical.
Call me skeptical.
When you say it's plant-based.
Well, I mean, I would say probably most Pop-Tarts are plant-based as well. I mean, there's probably butter in them, I guess. There's probably not butter,
Now
let's
I
be
want
honest.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah, we all want Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody listening wants a Pop-Tart at this moment. All right.
Relax.
Take a time out. Come back.
Take a time out.
Got a couple of segments left.
Your guess is as good as ours.
Got Monday Night Football tonight here on The Fan. Wrapping up Week 15 of the NFL season.
Are you ready for some football?
Didn't go through all of the action yesterday. We did talk a little bit about the biggest games yesterday, but there was some more happenings in the NFL we can get to as well, all coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
That information correct? I just saw in the chat. Birthday celebration today, a big one. Don Orsillo. Is that right? Can anybody confirm or deny?
Let's see. According to his Wikipedia page, born December 16th, 1968.
Hey, you didn't have to read the...
He's young. He's a young man.
He's very handsome, too. Guy's been reeling in fish every day, out there fishing on his little mini yacht, he calls it. I love that man. I love that man. Biggest mistake the Red Sox ever made was letting that guy walk.
Don Orsillo, Babe Ruth, Mookie Betts.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. And Xander Bogaerts, of course.
Of course.
Obviously. The Mount Rushmore of the ones that got away. Happy birthday to the GOAT, Don Orsillo. How old would that make him?
56.
56.
Like I said, still a young man.
He's real good.
Top of his game.
Oh, in his prime. I'm going to text him right now.
Totally in his prime. And in the off season, he gets all in
slim,
shape and slim during the off season. He's
catching
himself
fish,
some good poached fish for dinner every night.
Sweet. I didn't know he had a granddaughter. He posted a beautiful video of him and his granddaughter the other day, Daisy. He's a great man. Love Don Orsillo.
You think you'll have a granddaughter in 6 years?
I better not.
7 years when you're 56?
I better not, dude. Bo would be 13. I guess nothing's out of the realm of possibility.
Probably not, though. I'm more likely to be a grandpa at 56 than you are. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to be a grandfather at 56. It's hard enough being a father at 49 to be a grandfather. Like, what? You still live here, and now your kid lives here? Oh, my God, you're only 14? I mean, I guess it's possible.
Grandpa Woods.
Oh, my God. Now I'm going to text him, wish him a happy birthday. Sweet angel.
Put my name on that card, too, would you?
It's not a card. I'm going to text him.
Put that name on the text as well.
So you won't text him yourself?
No, I'm too nervous.
Too nervous?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Have you ever texted him? Do you have his number?
I don't think so, no. I don't even have his number in my phone.
That's pretty sad.
Checking my contacts under the O's. Nope. I could DM him, I believe. But he isn't even on Twitter anymore. So
yeah, he is.
Is he still on Twitter?
Literally, he's posting his fish videos every day.
That's on Twitter. That's not on Instagram. Okay.
This is going to be a long, long week. This is going to be a long week.
I thought that was Instagram. I always get confused which method he's using to communicate.
Yep. He's out there.
Happy birthday, Donnie.
Happy birthday, Donnie.
We'd love to have you on our show
What do
sometime.
you think Mud gets him a birthday present?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I'd like to have Don on someday.
We would all like to have Don on someday.
We usually have to trap him out at spring training for like one quick appearance a year.
Yeah.
Don, I mean, I would take Don as a regular. Like a regular Friday check-in with Don Orsillo would be the greatest radio of all time.
We've just never been able to line up on such a thing.
Well, we've been able to line up. He's refused over and over and over and over.
I know when you say we have to trap him at spring training, that sounds figurative, but
it's
actually
literal.
It's like literal. We have to set a snare. As he comes by, he triggers the trap, and then he can't get past us.
I've seen him walk around the corner, see us, and then go the other direction. Yes. I've seen it with my own eyes.
My favorite was a couple of years ago. We had him on. And he walked over, and we're right there on the patio. They got all the cafeteria tables. Yeah. Sometimes you'll see guys eating breakfast or lunch during our show. And Don comes over, and he's talking, and he is just roasting Mud about whatever. Yeah. And I look over, and Mud is sitting about 75 feet away at one of those tables, throwing down a bowl of cereal or something. And he's just like kind of waving because he knows we're talking about him, but he doesn't know what we're saying.
Yeah.
And then he comes up to me and goes, "What are you guys saying about me?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry
about it.
I love that man. I'd like to have him on the program more. That's one of my New Year's resolutions is to get Don Orsillo on at least a couple of times next year. He's a delight.
See, making New Year's resolutions, though, always feels like something that you should be doing differently.
I should be working harder to get Don on.
I just don't know
Don
what,
on.
but it's like the whole pursuit of Roki Sasaki, like with Yu Darvish. Maybe you don't want to do too much. Maybe
We've already done that method.
Maybe we're doing too much to try to get Don on.
We
just need
haven't
to
done
let
anything.
it happen. Just let it naturally happen.
No, I think this year I'm going to wear him out. I'm going to break him down until he wants to come on the program
every single week. Hopefully.
And see, with Don, like he doesn't need to. For him, he's not like, oh, I got to go on. It'll make people like me more. No, they already he's beloved in San Diego. He has no reason to come on just to do us a solid.
He can only do damage to himself
by coming on our
Is
show.
that the problem?
Yeah, that's it. Maybe he doesn't want his career to end up like yours.
Right.
And
when
me
you
ruining
used to
it.
be so well-liked,
Yes.
and now people are starting to go, I don't know. I keep hearing things and sounds a little suspicious.
The Woods effect.
And then all of a sudden, you're no longer the person you used to be. I can see why Don doesn't come on with us.
He's so elite at his job.
That's his wisdom.
So elite.
In play.
We may not have added any fancy pieces over the offseason, but we have Don Orsillo.
Coming back yet again.
I do hope so.
I wonder if Don got a playoff share. Did you see those numbers came in last week?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah. Padres playoff share was $45,985. It was the smallest of the 4 divisional series loser shares, which probably means that they gave more people shares in the organization than the other teams. And remember, we talked about this a few weeks ago. The players then vote on which members of the organization get like a full share or a half share or a quarter share. But a full share playoff for the Padres was just under $46,000. So if you were if you were an equipment guy and they voted you a half share, you would have won. You got about $23,000 in extra bonus money.
Nice.
Which is really nice. Of course, you can see why going deeper in the playoffs is important. The Dodgers share, $477,441.
Smokes.
So if you're an equipment guy and you get a half share of that, you just made another $237,800 grand.
Wow.
To
augment
your paycheck based
bless.
on a World Series win by the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Holy cow.
So you think the players feel some pressure. Imagine knowing you're a clubby and you're probably due a quarter share going.
Well, you're pretty stoked no matter what if you get a playoff. Like,
yeah.
All right, for example, like when the Seals go to the playoffs, I get extra game checks because I work extra
more
games. So when we lose in the playoffs, I don't know that they feel bad that I'm not getting a playoff share, and I certainly don't feel any pressure. I'm just excited. That means I'm going to make an extra grand or something. It's pretty cool. I like that. 45 grand in comparison to 450 grand.
But I think playoff shares are like Fight Club. You don't necessarily talk about them. After who gets them, what you got.
Yeah,
like,
you don't
rub it in someone's face. You don't complain about it because you got more. Yeah.
Quarter share?
Quarter share, half share.
Tough scene.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too, as far as you know. It's great. Where did that info come out?
I saw that last week on one of the baseball websites that had all the info on total share amounts. Must have been released by Major League Baseball at some point.
At least the shares, like there is rhyme and reason to it. Like you can tell this is what the pot is, and you know what the shares are.
Yeah.
Whereas like the end of the season tip that the players
That's
usually
just a personal
give to
decision.
the trainers and the clubbies and all of that. Like that's a thing. The players they tip them, and we've talked to some people that have received those tips.
Let's put it this way: I've heard that me and Paul tip better than some of the actual big leaguers that are on the roster for fantasy camp. We tip them at the end of the week.
4 days.
For 4 days. I've heard that we are better tippers than some of the big leaguers that exist. Sit on that one while we take a commercial break.
That was gnarly.
It's gnarly.
We may end up with our own staff here at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we'll take a quick time out. Come back, look ahead, Monday Night Football, and more. Final week of the year for Ben and Woods. Final segment of our Monday next year on 97.3 The Fan. So I got a little update on a topic from earlier in the show. We were talking about the Kyle Tucker trade, and you were talking about how Isaac Paredes will do well in his new home of Minute Maid Park.
Allegedly.
But you were unsure of whether that was the actual name of the stadium. It is, but only for 2 more weeks.
That's right.
On January 1st, Minute Maid Park will be renamed Daikin Park in a 15-year deal with Daikin Comfort Technologies of North America, a subsidiary of a Japanese air conditioning company. And, well, that means you will have to kind of update your mental notes of what each ballpark is called. It's also, to me, a sign of the increasing interrelationship between baseball in the United States and baseball in Japan. A lot of money is coming in now from Japan. And again, the Dodgers have been the primary beneficiaries of it, being Shohei Ohtani's team with the mega sponsorship deals that they've gotten.
Massive.
But other teams have benefited as well. You see the Padres have the tire deal as well. And more and more teams are taking advantage of Japanese corporations that want to get their names involved in Major League Baseball because, as we've seen, the ratings are huge for Major League Baseball games in Japan. And when you're an advertiser, if you want people to see your brand.
Correct.
And if they're watching American sports in Japan and you know that they're going to be 13, 20 million, whatever people watching that game, you don't care if the name is in Houston on the back of on a diamond or in a ballpark. They're watching it in Japan. So they're bringing that money, investing it here to pay dividends for their product back in Japan where they're primarily located.
Yeah, Michael in the chat says they have a couple of the Padres have 1 or 2 Japanese sponsorships, but the tire deal is actually from Korea, which true. Stands to reason, as we had our Korean prince here, Ha-Sung Kim, who will no longer be here. He's been pretty quiet on him. The market for him
it seemed like the Giants were the team that were most in on him, and once they signed Willie Adames,
no need.
Kind of had to go back to kind of square one.
Yeah. He's a Boris guy now, Ha-Sung Kim, right? Didn't he make the switch over to Scott Boris? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right near the end of the season.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, interesting.
So we'll see. But, in terms of the financial health of Major League Baseball, this has been a huge boon.
Correct.
To all of baseball. Now, some teams, again, like the Dodgers, are benefiting disproportionately from the rest of the league. But, I mean, the Astros, do they even have – how many Japanese stars do they have?
It's a great question.
Not that many that I can think of.
I can't think of –
But they had a stadium with a naming rights deal that was up, and there was a – park that felt like, hey, what that makes sense for us to be tied in with Minute Maid Park now. Daikin Park is going to be in just a couple of weeks. They're going to change that name. So interesting developments in Major League Baseball. And Rob Manfred did say in some of his comments after the season that financially baseball did well. He seemed happy in terms of how they did the last couple of years and revenues going up. Good thing. The sport is on some of its best footing as it's been in a long time.
A healthy track. Yeah. And it's also headed for a work stop.
Now that could be
absolutely wreck that entire thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make just everyone unhappy all at once.
Yep.
Tick off all your fans and your sponsors and everybody at the same time.
All the players. Yeah, it's going to be great. Look forward to it.
I understand that there's a certain amount of brinksmanship that goes into these negotiations. You don't want to be the guy, it's bad for baseball if we have a work stoppage, so go ahead. You get everything you want.
Correct.
We're fine. We just want to avoid the work stoppage. Neither side wants to do that, clearly. But they both have to realize that they both lose if it gets to a work stoppage.
It's that whole thing of it's having the foresight, knowing it's probably coming. It's all they should be working on right now is an adjustment or a let's get some ideas down in principle. It's really what they should be focused on because the CBT expires at the end of this coming season, correct? The end of 25?
26.
26. So 2 years. What can't happen is you get down to it and there's a month left and it's like, no progress has been made. I mean, they should be trying to progress in the next couple of years.
I think it was December of 2026 is when it officially is over. The problem is, as much as you'd like to
I think that's when our contract ends, by the way.
I think you're right. As much as you'd like to think, just get it done now. Don't push it to the limit. Without that deadline looming,
correct.
Who's going to want to be the one that gives ground?
Correct. But what I'm saying is, like, you don't want to quit a job without having another job. You don't want to. Your last day on the air is December 31st, and then you're like, I have nothing. You want to be starting that process of looking for another job in July, correct? August. Get some irons in the fire. What can't happen is December 31st that year. All right, well, I guess we need to get to the tables and start negotiating. I'd love to see a more proactive approach from the players' union and the owners to try to get it done and at least have some stuff in principle before it happens.
That's why agents will create fake deadlines sometimes. Like, hey, my guy won't sign once spring training starts. He's got 1 year left on his contract, but once he shows up at spring training, we're done negotiating, and it's over. And it's a fake deadline.
Yeah, it is.
But, they know that if they at least put that out in the universe, it may cause the other side to budge a little bit, to, increase their offer a little bit before the start of spring training to see if they can get it done in case they are actually being, legitimate. Very few guys would go, oh, no, I said spring training, and now 3 days later you're giving me everything I ever wanted. No, I don't want it anymore. You missed my deadline. You can always give someone what they want even after the deadline, but the deadlines do tend to create a little bit of action.
This is an interesting tweet that just came out from the Atlanta Braves. Did you guys see this? I saw some Braves fans retweeting it saying, hey, here's a masterclass in bad tweets. You ready for this? Our annual Braves Fest that we traditionally host in January is one of our favorite events of the year. We always enjoy providing our fans with fun and unique opportunities to meet and engage with Braves players and coaches. After much thought and discussion, we've made the decision to not host Braves Fest for 2025. With construction currently underway at Truist Park in the Battery, Atlanta, preparations for the 2025 MLB All-Star Game, we would not be able to host the type of event that our fans deserve and have grown to love. We look forward to welcoming fans back to the ballpark for unforgettable experiences next season, both on and off the field. We hope all of you have a wonderful holiday season. We can't wait to see you in 2025. That was a disaster class of a tweet.
Seems as though they mixed the tweet of announcing when the Braves Fest was going to be with the announcement that there was not going to be a Braves Fest.
Correct. You didn't give them much notice either. It's December, and you usually have it in January. And by the way, we've been agonizing over this decision. It's not going to happen. But we really love it. We love doing it.
Feels like A.J. Preller coming on and saying, well, we could not let Jurickson Profar get away.
Yeah.
He means so much to the franchise and the team that we just felt
what a tremendous year last year.
Splitting with him would be unthinkable. And with that, we'd like to announce that he has just signed with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Correct.
It's very odd.
It's a very
odd phrasing.
Very odd phrasing. Holy cow. Interesting.
All right, we got one last check of traffic here, and we'll come back. We got Monday Night Football tonight. Little look ahead here in the final moments of Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
My condolences to those of you who had to endure that hellacious ride on northbound 805 this morning, all due to this fuel spill before the 52. 3 right lanes remain blocked for cleanup on that. Yeah, it was caused by a big rig accident that happened late last night. Northbound side of the 5, still better choice as you make your way up toward the Golden Triangle. Now, southbound side of the 5 at Washington Street, we have reports of a collision involving a couple cars. They're over to the right shoulder. Eastbound 8, an accident on or near the College Avenue off-ramp. Westbound 56 before Carmel Valley Road. A collision involving a couple vehicles. They're over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Actually, I lied. I said there was a Monday Night Football tonight. There's actually two Monday Night Football games tonight.
NFL dropping a deuce on everybody tonight.
Which one are we carrying, Paul? Because I don't know the answer to that.
The second one, I believe.
The 5:30 game, the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. That was my pick of the week. What was your guys' pick last week in our football threesome?
I don't remember.
You guys
I won, whatever it was.
You won, good.
I'm guessing I lost.
I thought you had the same one, actually. So if Woods won, you probably
I think
won.
I did. I think I threw in the Broncos covering, and they did not because I wanted to be different. But You picked the Chiefs,
I
and I
picked
said
the
that's
Chiefs.
the one I would have
The Broncos
picked.
definitely covered if you pick the Broncos. They won by like 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you were good there if you
win.
picked the
Good either
Broncos.
way.
I did put my money where my mouth is. I
And-
did bet the Chiefs in
And
real
the
life.
Chiefs did
Yep.
win by 14 points.
Also
so.
took the Bucks +3, which
And
was
that was
nice.
That was an
dub.
easy win.
Easy dub.
Money line would have been good there.
Yep.
So tonight it's the Atlanta Falcons.
We got Bears-Vikings tonight.
Oh, we got the other
On
one.
the
So that's
station.
the early one. The 5 o'clock game is the Chicago Bears, who were officially eliminated yesterday from playoff contention. They knew they weren't going to the postseason at 4-9. But the game very important for the Minnesota Vikings, who at 11-2 now can move right in with the Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit Lions, potentially in a 3-way tie for that top seed in the NFC with a win tonight. So just looking to take care of business on their home turf. This is one you definitely do not want to let slip away against a struggling Bears team if you're the Vikings tonight.
6.5, taking it.
Seems a little low.
Taking it.
But the Vikings do play nothing but, like the Chiefs, they play nothing but close games. Does feel like the Bears, though, have nothing to play for.
Literally.
And that's why I picked the Falcons. They need to get back to 7-7. With the Bucs winning again, it's imperative that they get a win tonight, whereas the Raiders, they're aiming
hoping
for
to
a,
lose.
Yeah, they're aiming for a number 1 draft pick. So they're hoping to lose and continuing to improve their draft status at the end of the year. So
You've seen
I got
the,
the Falcons for tonight's game.
You've seen all of you see the videos of Shedeur Sanders working out with Raiders owner Tom Brady. You seen that?
Working out with Tom Brady.
Yeah, like there was a video that surfaced. I don't know when it was from, but he was actually getting some tips from the GOAT.
Tampering.
I mean, he's
not a free agent.
I think this was a pre-ownership Tom Brady, but it's certainly. I mean, Shedeur Sanders wants to be a Raider.
Yeah, but he doesn't get to pick where he goes.
He does not get to pick where he goes. But it feels like a foregone conclusion, which would be interesting. They need a quarterback badly in Las Vegas, and what a fit! What a fit it would be for Shedeur Sanders playing in Vegas for the Raiders.
They might
and Tom
need a
Brady.
coach too.
Yeah, that's true.
If Dad is interested in going to the NFL, that could be a possible landing spot
100%.
for Dion. A couple quick basketball notes here at the end of the program. UCSD Tritons they're legitimately good.
The
They
real
beat
deal.
Idaho on the road 80-56. Their net ranking is up to like 61. They've won 7 games in a row. And they've got a big game tomorrow. They play at Utah State, undefeated Utah State 10-0 in college basketball. Aztecs are off this week. They don't play until Saturday against Cal. That game is in San Jose, but that's the college basketball update. Had a couple of good games over the weekend. Lamont Butler, you see him? 30 points for Kentucky. Made every single one of his shots. I think he was 10 for 10 and 6 for 6 from three-point range. Just had a huge game for the Wildcats as they beat Louisville. In
Money well spent.
In-state rivalry. So that was a good pickup. UConn beat Gonzaga. I watched some of that game on Saturday night as well. And then in the NBA, the NBA Cup final is set. It's tomorrow night on ABC if you want to watch it in town. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. So you got plenty of star power in that game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard, both in that game for tomorrow night's in Las Vegas. Not the marquee necessarily franchises, but good players. Lakers won their 3rd straight last night. LeBron returned after missing a couple of games in a row. Said it was more personal, like they made him take the time off.
Not as much absence.
Yeah, not as much an injury as we were led to believe, but more of just a leave of absence for a couple of games.
I would like to be forced to take a leave of absence for like the next 3 days, and then come back strong on Friday.
Just for your well-being,
my mental well-being,
to be strong. We need Woods at his best.
Yes.
So we should tell him, don't show up until
I need Adam to
Christmas
come in
and
today
holiday
and
extravaganza.
say, just come back in on Friday. Come back in and do your best on Friday. I feel like I could get a lot done.
See, now the rest of the Lakers won both games without.
Oh, they did?
LeBron, yeah. And then they won again with him last night. So they've kind of turned things around. So maybe it was a smart decision by the Lakers to do that. Do you think we'd win without you the next 3 days?
I would love to see you guys try. Couldn't do any worse.
Hey, look at me. Don't you go anywhere.
I feel like if we're going to be here, then
I should be
you
here.
probably
I feel the
should
same
be here.
way.
We all, at this point in the year, could
It's a rough
probably
one, man.
use a little time. But we're taking it after next week.
Yep.
And then we refresh. And like you said, you'll be raring to go by the time we come back
Oh,
in January.
out of a cannon. I always am.
Yeah.
That's my favorite day of the year, the first day back. Got some big surprises for week 1 that I'm working on too.
And it's amazing because we'll have 2 weeks and then fantasy camp.
Yeah.
We'll be out in Arizona.
Then we'll be back for
about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And then spring training's underway.
It's baseball season.
Very fast.
Yeah, it comes very
point.
fast. Yes, it does. Adam says you don't really mean that, Woods. I do. Yeah, if you need to give me a few days, I will.
Only if you think it's in the best interest of the station.
Yeah, forced time off.
I'm getting a sense that he doesn't feel
He's
like
lucky.
It's in the best interest.
LeBron's so lucky to have a boss like that understands he needed the time.
All right, that music means our time is mercifully over for a Monday morning. Annie and Elston are coming in next. For executive producer Paul Reindl and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Yes, we will be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, buddy.